Yep.
Show me the money! He's like, we got 1 week left. Where's the money?
He said, I need my money by Friday. I'm coming down and I'm putting cases on all you.
I told everybody a week before the trip. Just have it paid before the week before the trip. That's it.
Show me the money!
Look at try.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, everybody pull yourselves together.
Oh, the top came off?
Oh, it's that late night, man. I tell you what. It's that late night.
All right, let me do this.
I said, we'll see how long I last, because I'm a sleepyhead, bro.
All right,
this time, I'm gonna pull a Hulk.
What's up with Hulk?
Hey,
I haven't seen him. He's in love. He disappeared.
Oh, he's building a house, so he's been busy. But when we was in Texas last time, Hulk said, "Man, bump this." He stretched out.
Oh yeah.
Sleep on trial.
He went night.
I ain't gonna lie, I was jealous. I was like, man, I wish that could be me. But if I fall asleep, oh, stock foot, Allah, Trout wouldn't live it down, bro. Oh, that dude was tired. He said, I'm done with this. I'm going to bed. Those late nights, them late night D scales be. Oof.
He was live on the 4th or the 3rd.
Especially after a belly full of brisket, bro. That'll do it.
Oh man, and these goofballs on the internet be like, oh,
another one.
I have another question.
Another one.
I'm like, no more questions. I want to go to sleep. See, Trot just walks across the hall. He goes in his bed. I'm like, that 15-minute drive gonna take me out.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the first time I went to Texas, to visit Trot, I didn't know that he lived so far from Dallas. I really didn't have any clue. So I got a hotel in Dallas, bro. It was like a 45-minute drive. I literally slept the whole way every night on Leo. Leo was driving. I literally went to bed. Like I was snoring off. I was out of there, bro. I was so tired. I got this one too, Big Net. You like this one?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother? What's that, brother?
I love that one. Every time I hear that one, I think of Benny. I think of Benny every time, bro.
Yeah, bro. Have you guys seen on a different note? Have you guys seen how like the river flooded, and then this woman said that basically a lady of color, she said basically that nobody should be searching for these YT little girls because they're getting what they deserved.
Yeah, that's
disgusting work. Nasty, disgusting work.
I posted on this account. I couldn't take, like, I was just so disgusted. This lady was like, yo, these little C's, the curse word that you call a woman a C that ends with you should figure it out by now. I don't even have to say it.
Yeah, we all know.
She said these little C's deserve this. This is God's plan for these little C's. I was so disgusted. And this woman worked for the government. She worked for the city of Houston. Luckily, she was fired on the spot, and they took down her TikTok. But what a disgusting! And you know what the funny thing is? She's married to a YT man who's a pastor, mind you, and has the rainbow flag up in his church and believes that all people are equal. And she has the nerve to say that these little girls who were innocent deserve what they got. And somebody on their church page, I even saw it on their church page, a woman on the church page was like, we need to pray for the little girls of Camp Mystic. And she said, no. In Facebook under the church account, dog. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Nasty. And those people in Texas, man, it's really sad. I think the count is up to, last time I checked, it was 82. So
You talking, Dre? You talking about the woman who her husband's a pastor, or the doctor? The
no, the woman who.
Right.
Oh, hold on! I got something for you before you get to speak. I got to say something to you. Here it is.
I felt Puerto Rican.
I love my hair. I love my hair.
Come on, baby.
So, yeah, Trot looks stressed, man. What's going on?
I don't think we
Yeah.
He's talking.
Mackenzie gonna be like, you need to get off this live, boy. But yeah, I'm talking about the lady, the black lady who was married to a white tea pastor.
Okay.
And she wrote this nasty stuff, man.
Well,
It's
did
so
you hear
nasty.
the pediatrician, the doctor? She got fired from her job and everything.
Well, I haven't seen that one. I need to find that
Oh
one.
man, her statement
Send it to
was
us.
nasty. This one was a white lady. It was disgusting. She worked for a big medical firm. They kicked her right out.
Wow,
they
the
wrote
count is over 90,
post.
Kenny said. Jeez, bro. And you know what the sad thing is? The real sad part is that these little girls were sleeping. This happened at nighttime.
But you know this happened in
Imagine
1987 also, right?
Yeah, but I'm just thinking about these little girls, like the terror in these little girls' heart when they seen this water just blast through the door and sweep them away. And this dirty demon has the nerve to say that these little girls deserve that. How disgusting,
They found
bro.
two sisters unalived holding hands. They didn't let go of themselves.
Oh, that's so sad. That's very sad.
Do this.
Do what?
Oh,
But
here
you
we
know
go.
what it is?
Look. Listen to try. Listen. He be losing it over the microphones, boy. If you touch that microphone without loosening that nut even a little bit, he be losing
know,
it,
Troy.
don't it, Ryan?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, but if
Okay.
for what it's worth,
Yeah, probably.
I hope it was very quick.
That's letting me
You know
know
what I mean?
that you need to move your mic so I can pause it.
Yeah. Thank you, Trot, for not muting yourself. We all wanted to just not talk so that you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to
So
hear
what do you
you.
mean to
Trot. Somebody text me or call him.
Okay.
Dre, you got to give him the abracadabra.
Oh my goodness, this guy.
Okay.
Will you call him on the phone?
Okay.
Oh my God, this guy.
What?
Oh my gosh, mute yourself.
Huh?
I feel Puerto Rican.
Hold on a second.
Puerto Rican. I feel Puerto Rican. I feel Puerto Rican.
I'm Rican.
Yeah.
He says,
We
"I'm
were
Rican,
sitting
I'm
here trying to
Rican."
have a conversation, and we could hear you instructing as per usual.
Can you hear me?
Make sure you move
Hello?
the nut. Don't you move that microphone.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
He's talking to her, bro. Instead of muting.
Dre,
Oh my
can
God.
you hear me?
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
can hear
can
you,
hear
but it
you.
sounds
You
like you're
sound
not
far
talking on
away.
your. You're not on your microphone though. You're talking.
I
I
sound
hear you
far
through other
away.
mics.
Yeah, it sounds like your microphone's in the pool, bro.
Oh, can y'all hear me now?
We hear McKinley better.
Hold on. So try.
Oh,
Now, yes. Now you're talking to the right mic. Yes.
all right. So now y'all can hear me. Okay, cool. All right.
Got the Verizon going on now.
Jesse feels Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican. All right, are y'all done with y'all shenanigans?
I feel American.
I feel Puerto Rican.
See, I'm American.
Yeah, listen, guys. When y'all are saying American,
He was in that Spanish live.
there's no It's I feel American. No there's no a. American. You got that? Like Jesse, there's no
you
S.
lagging, dog.
Huh?
This guy's lagging.
Okay.
You are lagging.
Bro, you lagging.
All right, hold on.
Bruh.
It's not good.
Yeah, you remind me of the Saturday Night Live, the Saturday Night Chinese flicks we used to watch.
Hey, Dre, on your iPhone, how do you go?
Puerto Rican.
Dre, on your on your iPhone? How do you go? How do you go to like a lower? You know how you got like 4K, like 830 or whatever. How do you make it lower? Where do you go? That's the issue right now. It's recording at like 4K.
I don't think I could do that on my iPhone.
Yeah, because he gave me an option the other day, and I messed up and chose the better quality one. I shouldn't have done that. So, oh my Lord, I'll figure it out myself. Jeez.
What's the question? What's the question?
Oh, he's just gonna blow our ears out.
Did you guys just get started? Is this like that's right now? You're starting right now?
Yep, starting right now.
Man, I'm going to bed. I'm sorry, people.
Then go to bed.
I'm not gonna last very long.
Why are you? Listen, guys, if y'all don't want to be here, we don't need to hear about it. Just hop off.
I need to go back.
Okay, I don't need to hear your complaint. Somebody just kick her out. Yeah, you complain. Go complain in your ear. Go complain in your own ear.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, you are. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Are y'all starting right now? I should have just downed you as soon as you. We don't need to hear that nonsense. Just hop off. Jeez, say your night prayers or whatever. We don't need to hear all that nonsense. Let's see.
Great. Just froze. That's what he got to talking about.
You're still here. Jess, why are you still here? You got to go.
Internet right now.
Bro, you're not lying, bro.
You're an idiot. Idiot, dude.
You're not lying, bro. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, bro. For real?
Look, he's frozen. Look at it. Look at his face. He's frozen on the screen.
Yeah.
God,
You
no.
are.
Huh?
You are.
I know. I need to.
He's got that AOL.
Let me see
Dialogue.
how to choose a lower.
We live in the boonies, okay?
Yo, you lying? Nah! Yo, nah!
Oh, Dre, I love it, bro. That's hilarious, dude. I feel just.
Could you stop saying if I'm blogging, bub?
He downgraded from that Obama all the way back to what? When did that AOL come out in that first home computer, 1995 or 8 or something like that? But I don't remember.
Dude.
Yo, you lying? Nah! Yo, nah!
Is that better? Is that better?
No, you're still lying.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
it's better.
There it goes.
It's
Yeah.
better.
That's
All right. Okay, I had to figure out myself. My freaking tech guy ain't worth a darn.
Yeah,
I had to do it myself.
We hear her better than you. You know that, right?
What does it matter?
Well, my voice is better than him, so it's okay.
Easy. Easy. Okay, everybody say hello to my.
There you go.
Everybody, if you're on YouTube, so the YouTubers can see my wife. If you're not on YouTube, you won't be able to be able to see her. So let me. We're supposed to get this thing working.
Bro, I thought you were going to say if you're not on YouTube, you're not a member of a descaled family.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. You should be on YouTube. Absolutely. Watching both. Utilizing both.
Hey, Kelly.
All right. Okay. So, guys,
St.
today,
Mackenzie.
late at night. What?
Yep.
Christian, what now? What? What?
I was just saying hi.
Hi.
No, you did not just say hi. It was like 15 words that came out of your mouth.
Yeah, I said Saint Mackenzie. God bless.
Okay. But then why are you saying you just say hi?
Oh, you gonna twerk for McKenzie, bro? Why are you
Yeah,
twerking
you
for
twerking,
McKenzie,
bro.
bro? What are
Straight
you
up
doing?
twerking.
You know how he is. He's a lamb.
All right,
He's
all right,
a
all right,
lamb,
all right.
so
All right,
trusts
all right,
He
all
wants
right.
all the sympathizers.
All right, all the shenanigans, we're done. So if you want to go shenan again on your own live, because we're going to talk about today. I don't care what time it is. We had a full day today. We had pups that had to go to the vet, all kinds of shenanigans. And it's not Dre's fault. I literally told Dre, I was like, hey, I need you to go live. Like, I don't know what he was even doing. Like, he's probably like, oh, good to know. Okay. So.
It was like 11:30, 12 o'clock.
He's outside building a deck, and he's like, yeah, let me just stop what I'm doing so I can. And I was like, I ain't gonna be able to make it. Like, it's just not gonna. Let's see, Rhonda. Yes, it is, Rhonda. So today is officially today will be official. I don't care what time it is. Officially the first a descaled family series that we're going to start. And for anyone that's on, man, I don't know why. Why is my... I'm not really sure. Yeah, but for people that are on, I don't know why it keeps doing that. I really don't. Analytic. Okay, there it is. Yeah, but if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see my my heifer sitting across from me right there. We're supposed to have it set up where this system is doing the same thing both on TikTok and YouTube, but the tech guy is not really doing what he's supposed to be doing on that. Ain't that right? Right. Ain't that right? We're supposed to have a different iPad or a different laptop or a different MacBook or something.
Yeah, it's the TikTok is not playing nice with us.
Yeah. So I don't know where Bill went.
To sleep.
He went to sleep. Yeah, all right. So look.
No. TikTok dropped me.
It's only two.
Wait a minute. Jesse, why are you still here?
Hey, leave her alone. She was.
Hold on a second. Didn't she just say she's not going to be able to do this? Hey, am I tripping?
No, I told her we're going to talk about Revelations.
What is it? What is the deal with Puerto Ricans and the S in the Book of Revelation? There's no S. Why do y'all keep saying Revelations?
Bro, I haven't even mentioned that book.
Bill just said it, and he put an S at the end of it.
Anyways.
That's a Bill thing.
It's only it's Puerto Rican. It's a Puerto Rican thing. Anyways. Anyways. Bill pluralizes everything. It's an S on everything.
Well, you analyze everything, so
that's all right.
What's the difference?
That's all right. Yeah. All right. So the topic today, obviously, if you've been keeping up with Descaled even a little bit, you're probably going to know we're going to talk about couple projects, right? Because me and my wife just had one. So she's off for the summer because of the job that she has. She's able to be off for the summer. So we decided to build our pool ourselves, which literally from scratch. So the hole was dug. A lot of it was done at night because it was like 100 degrees. I was like, hey, let's just do most of it at night, which that's what happened. And once everything was dug up and I leveled it, this is the first time I ever tried leveling anything.
We leveled it?
Yeah, that's right. Right. We leveled it, and it's still off a couple of inches. And to be honest, even talking to a construction guy, he's like, bro, it doesn't matter. But to me, it matters because I want that sucker level. He's like, bro, even if you get the most perfect leveling person, it's still going to be off a half an inch or something.
Is this an underground or above ground?
Yeah, well, okay, so the pool is an above ground pool. It's an above ground pool.
That's not a pool, bro. That's not a pool.
You didn't even let me finish. Can I finish or what? Can I finish? So it's an above ground pool that we dug 2 feet in the ground because we're building a deck, and the deck doesn't have to be wood. I mean, we may choose certain pavers or do concrete all the way around it. So it's going to be sticking out of the ground about, I want to say 2.5 feet. Probably the rest of it's going to be underground. And so either it's going to be a deck all the way around the pool. So it's kind of like if you're walking on the deck, the pool's going to be level with the deck. So it'll be kind of like a in-ground pool because it's partially in-ground. But we can't put an in-ground pool where we are because sometimes the creek comes over the property and all kinds of crud goes in there. Now there is a guy I talked to that said that he could probably do it. He said, but it's possible y'all might have to be replacing, I guess, the guts of a pool. So we could easily get one put out here, but I don't want to have to be replacing pumps and stuff because of all the trash that could possibly be going in there, like if the creek was to overflow. And so we had to choose an above ground pool so we can go in the ground just a little bit and it's not level with the ground. That way, if the water does come out of the creek, it doesn't mess up anything.
If you do the deck, you're gonna do that. Don't do the wood. Do that. What do they call it? It's like a plastic. It's like that.
Oh, do not do tracks. That's a terrible idea. It's a
well, either way, whether we do tracks or whether we do wood or whether we do stone, there is going to be some sort of deck that's going to be around it. So I'm telling you,
but don't do the wood. Don't do the wood.
Well,
you'll regret it.
Whichever one we choose. Which I already told her that I was wanting to do stone or concrete or whatever. We'll see. But the point is, we're talking about a grit mastery family, and it's something I've been thinking about doing for probably a year, maybe year and a half. But I was waiting for her to get her first summer completely off, just so we can talk about things regarding family, right? Not just descaled, right? Diving in and talking about Jesus. That's should be a huge part of everybody's life, honestly. But this is more about dealing with the opposite sex and more focused on how to pull through than pointing the finger, pointing the blame. What?
You're lagging.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
Not on TikTok.
No, it is on TikTok on mine.
Well, then that's your phone.
Okay.
You got that. You got to remember, Mackenzie, you're using your own Wi-Fi.
No, actually, I'm not. I turned my Wi-Fi off because when Trot goes live.
Worse.
No, you don't have to. Turn the Wi-Fi on. The Starlink runs everything else. Put your Wi-Fi on.
Then why do you tell me to turn my Wi-Fi off whenever you're on live?
That was before Starlink.
Oh, you don't keep me up to date.
That's all right. That's okay.
You don't keep me.
I don't know.
Rude.
That's all right.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? Keep up to date.
Yeah.
No, that's something he does not do. Keep me up to date. People show up at my house. He goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. They're coming over today to shoot." Thanks.
Yeah.
They're at my house.
Yeah. A whole dozen of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the couples project, depending on what your goal is, right? Some people, they get real focused on the project itself. And so the project becomes more important, right? Which means if something doesn't go right, it's your fault or it's her fault. So before you know it, you'll see when there's some problems because they're both blaming each other for problems, right? They're not looking at it as this is a small project. A marriage is a huge project. So whatever the project is outside of the marriage, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So a grit mastery family, it's titled that because majority of people's issues in marriages is because they don't know how to harness their emotions. So instead of focusing on the entirety of the marriage, they focus on the little task more. And then before you know it, you're pointing your finger about whose fault it is, why things aren't working out. And it's just a project. Like, for instance, how many days did we work on the pool?
A week.
A week? 7 days? No, it wasn't 7 days.
Yes, it was. What's today, Monday?
So
we started last Saturday.
Last Saturday.
Yes.
So this past Saturday would be a week. So then it was
that
a
would
full...
be 7
okay,
days.
so it's a full week.
Correct.
So a full week. And out of those 7 days, 5 of them were like 15-hour days, pretty much. So 15-hour days, that's all we did was dig this thing up. And we had to move it. So the first area we were digging this thing, we realized that there's electrical cords. They're too close to the pool, right? They're underground, but they're too close to the pool. So we had to make the right decision, fill that hole in. And literally, I want to say we're probably about 80% done with that hole. So it was a full day of digging and all this. We had to fill it back in, and we had to go to the second place. So we literally wasted almost a day and a half on the very first. And then we once we dug the second one, we knew there were some pipes there, but we didn't know exactly where they were. And then we found them finally, and they were some draining pipes, and we had to reroute them. And my wife actually did that by herself. I want to say I put one elbow, I think. I want to say there were, so there's 2 on each end. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and then probably about 4 sleeves. So 12, there's probably about 12 things that had to be cleaned and glued. And I want to say I did 1. And she did the rest of them.
So if y'all need any kind of plumbing, who to call?
You're gonna go out there. Oh my gosh, the camera's coming. 100% the camera's coming. So, I want to say whenever we dug the second hole and started working on that plumbing, that is where some tension started. Right, maybe it would have been better if this would have happened. And if not careful, you're going to start pointing your finger. Well, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. It's nobody's fault. Okay, it's a project. And in a project, and if you haven't done a couples project, you're missing out. I don't know why you wouldn't. You need a 100%. That right there is going to show you like how to better deal with the person that you chose as your significant other, that doing a project with them, because the projects ain't always going to work out. Something's going to fail. Now, if you picked a project where it was perfect, then you're a liar. Let me just put it that way. If you're like, my project is going to be making a gingerbread house for Christmas, that's your project. Pick a hard project. Find something that neither one of you know how to do, that obviously could help the house or the equity or something. Put the work in it. My whole life is a couples project. Yeah, well, you definitely need to do some projects. And I know there's people that don't really do a whole lot of projects. Well, you need to. You need to 100% do a project so your significant other can see what stresses you out, right? I end up throwing tools in all my hubby because he makes me mad. I'll just put it that way. That's Brenda. Brenda's on YouTube talking about how her hubby makes her upset.
Unfortunately, mine's up in heaven and he's laughing every time I screw up. So I'm not worried about it.
Oh my Lord. Okay, well then be an example for others to follow then, Jess. Okay, how about that? You just do that. You just quit complaining. Quit complaining about being on a descale.
Wait a minute. I do projects all the time. I just do them. If I got to do them, you got to do them. What are you going to do? Not get them done? You got to get them done.
Well, we're talking about people. We're talking about couples project, doing them together. That's what we're talking about right now. Doing them together, right? So anyway, the pipes. So she put the pipes together, right? Then we have to cover that up. Okay. And then we go to leveling the pool, and then we go to putting the pool together, and it's a big pool. So, Jesse, how big is your pool?
Oof, mine is big.
He has an Olympic-sized pool.
No, it's not. It's a little smaller than Olympic size, but then I have right next to it an in-ground also jacuzzi. But my pool is big.
Okay, well, how big is it? You don't even know how big your pool is, and is your pool?
Bro, man, my husband built it. I don't know. He did the measurements when we were building the house. I just know it's big.
Okay.
It's a big.
It's a big pool. Okay, well, that doesn't help. So ours is 32 feet. What is the size of an Olympic pool anyway? I don't even know.
A big pool.
Yeah.
Olympic is my neighbor has one. I would say mine's is 50 something by I don't know, maybe 40 or 30 something by 50 something.
All right, it says an Olympic swimming pool is 50 meters. 50 meters. Bro.
Yeah, 50 meters.
50 meters.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like 150 feet.
Yeah, Jesse's pool is only 100 feet.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Only.
of it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ours is 32 feet. All right. So Jesse, when you heard above ground pool, you're probably thinking like a 15 circle diameter. No, it's 32 feet long by 16. So it's pretty freaking big. All right.
No, you got the big one. Yeah.
It's big. It's not little. And plus, it's going to be in ground. There's going to be either wood deck or concrete or some sort of paver. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it, but for a few people to put that thing up, it's really no easy task. I'll be completely honest. That thing's pretty heavy. But let me see. What was your last draw? She literally was like, okay. She was like, okay, I'm done.
My last draw?
Yeah, what was your last draw? I don't remember what it was.
I think after we filled the pool and we went out there the next day, since it already was filled and it was uneven, and we both looked at each other and we're like, all right, we're going to take the water back out and re-level this. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
ain't happening.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You can hire somebody. I am done. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my summer.
Yeah, so initially we already had a few people that we were hiring that were going to come out and do it. But of course, we did the hard thing, which sometimes you got to do the hard thing on purpose. You know, you don't always have to hire somebody. You know, you got to, at some point, you got to do some projects. So we did this and we got, all of it's pretty much done. The hole needs to be a little bit bigger. And then the back end, it's about 2 inches off. So, whoever shows up is gonna be like, oh, you just want me to level this little end? Yeah, just level that out.
Hopefully that's all it is.
No, that's all it is.
But you don't have to. So you don't have to rebuild the pool. You just pick it up and move it.
It's not. Yeah, right. Like if you had, like the guy said, he's got 4 guys, bro. With 4 guys, that thing's not for 4 guys. It's not that heavy, right? So like whenever the liner, like when the pool comes, the liner itself is rolled up in this piece of plastic, and I can pretty much pick that thing up by myself, right? So 4 guys, bro, it's not. Yeah.
But I would say, if we would have built this pool in the beginning of our marriage, I wouldn't have lasted one day. I would have not harnessed my emotions, and I would probably have buried you in the back.
Yeah, there'd have been no harnessing emotions. There'd be no grit. There'd be no grit. What'd you say, Brenda? That pool is humongous. Yeah, no, it is. It's a big pool. So, but when she was standing in it, like when you start adding water, and you know you're standing in this pool, she was in there, you know, taking the little wrinkles out or whatever you call it.
Trying to. Like, it says it's 52 inches, but it's talking about the depth of the water, right? But the pool itself is probably 56, 58 inches. So, like, she's walking around and you can just see the top of her head in there. Like, that's how big this thing.
So it's like 4 feet 8 inches, give or take?
I don't know.
4 feet? Yeah.
Yeah, so 4 feet is what, 48?
So 4 feet 8 inches if it's 58.
Yeah, it's about yeah, something like that. I mean, I may be off an inch or two.
Almost 5 feet. You're looking at almost 5 feet.
No, it's taller than 5 feet. Hold on a second. 5 feet would be 60 inches. Yeah, you're right. It's almost 5 feet. Yeah.
Almost 5. Yeah, because it's 40. You said 50.
Yeah. So, again, give or take an inch or two. I don't know the exact, but I know where the line is for the water, and that is what's 52 inches. I didn't know that till I was reading the instructions. They're like gray line, you know, because there's still several inches above that where the water line is. But it was funny though, because you don't realize how big this thing is until she's in there kicking trying to make the platform, take them wrinkles out. And I just see the top of her head moving around. I'm like, God, that thing is huge. It's huge. You know, like you can swim laps in that thing. Like, it's really big. So Trot can completely submerge. Yeah, pretty much. I pretty much can. I want to say that I could probably walk around in there and pick my head up and still breathe, maybe. It's big enough. It's big enough for me. That's for sure.
He made sure he wouldn't drown.
Yeah. Had to make sure now. You know? Let me see if I can get this going.
What's that?
Oh, crud. Yeah. Is Angel still in here? I know Angel was in here earlier. I think that was Angel that was in here.
No, I don't see him in there.
No.
Did you swing by the Airbnb by any chance or no?
Do what?
Did you swing by the Airbnb?
No, we haven't. Not yet. Not yet. We haven't done that yet.
We're supposed to do that?
Well, I mean, we can. It's an option. Yeah.
Okay, make sure
Yeah,
it's not
we can do it
ghetto
tomorrow.
and-
I don't know why y'all chose like all across town. That's the only one y'all can find? Whose idea was this?
Listen here, Sergeant.
Yeah, right.
Mind your business.
The sucker is way. They're like, hey, here's the address. I'm like, all right, I put it in there. 15 minutes away. I'm like, God, y'all should have just stayed in the next town. What the heck?
That's the only Airbnb that can host the amount of men that we have coming down, and it ended up being very economical. So it's like under $200 for 3 nights. Can't beat that.
Oh yeah, no, you can't beat that. Well, I'm sure there was reasons. I'm sure there was reasons
And it has
for
like a whole kitchen and stuff, and like it's comfortable. Like we might be able to hang out there, do dinner down there one of the days.
Yeah, we probably could. Well,
make you drive back home.
Listen to this. Yeah, the first night. Hey, y'all don't.
Y'all go right ahead. Y'all take him. Bye bye.
Hey, y'all, Angel, you're here. Yeah. Well, Angel, I know you had questions regarding. Let me see. I got your question right here. You said, "How can I prepare for a relationship as a young single man in Christ?" So, if you can come up, kick Jessie out because she don't need this class because her man's in heaven and they finished all their they finished all their projects already, so she don't need any help with couples projects.
I'm done. Believe me. Just kick me out. I'm going to bed. Good night, guys.
Go to sleep. Go in your real pool. Go take a dive in your real pool you got over with our fake pool. You don't want to hear about our fake pool. Angel, can you come up or what? Oh, he's already up. God, dog, boy, sneaky. What's up, Angel? Man, you got some time to talk about the question you asked a few days ago, and we weren't able to go over it.
Yes, sir. I have a lot of time, actually.
Oh no, what was all that racket? Don't sound like you got no time. Yeah, work. Don't get fired. We had enough of that on here.
Oh no, it's because I usually spend most of my time in the garage. Cause
Hold on, Jesse. Hold on. Let me see this. Hold on a second. Let me see this pool Jesse got. She bragging about.
Wow.
Let me see, Jesse. That thing looks like it's 30 feet long. What are you talking about? That's the same size as our pool. You over here making fun of our pool.
That is not the same size as our pool.
I think ours is bigger.
I think
her pool's not that big. I was joking.
Yeah. That ain't a pool. That's a pond.
Could be a meme.
That's a Nephilim foot bath.
For you, Dre, yeah.
Hey, Jess, how deep does that thing get, man? How deep is that? Jess, you're muted. How deep is it?
I'm sorry. It's 6 feet. 6 feet.
Oh, that thing's plenty big. Yeah.
Yeah, it goes from 3 to 6.
Your husband put that in?
4. Well, my husband was a civil engineer and a general contractor. We built all these houses where I live. We built a lot of places.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's way cool. I could have
needed.
needed.
I learned a couple things. Whenever you need to know something about building, you just said, I learned a lot.
I know. I should have had you over here sweating, building this freaking pool over here.
Well, I would have told you, my advice to you would have been hire the person to come and level it for you and dig the hole out, and then you do the rest.
No, you're missing. I think, did you miss the last 20 minutes?
No.
It was a couple's project. Okay.
Exactly.
All
but now
right.
let me finish.
Oh, you finished.
You pay them to do that portion, and then you guys do the rest.
No,
and
we started
been a couple's project.
We started it from the beginning, and I waited. I wanted to see how long she could stick in there, and she finally goes, "Okay, I'm done." So you got to understand, right? She's offered this. She don't want to spend her whole summer doing this. So, like, if we took the pool out, it would take us an hour or so to get the pool, just me and her, to get the pool out. Right? We would level it again, and trust me, the second time leveling won't be a big deal. But the point she's making is she done spent a whole week off this pool. She's done. So it's, again, guys, you know, doing a project with your significant other, it doesn't matter if you get the project done or not. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is to do something together so you can have something further to talk about. You understand? There's people, they get to an old age and there's no new adventures in their life. You know, you'll hear the man, he'll be talking about things that happened 10 years ago, and she gets upset because he keeps telling her the same freaking story over and over. She's tired of hearing it. There's nothing new to talk about. That's not a good place to be. And if you find yourself in that place, I don't care how old you are, how old I am. I'm telling, huh?
Old.
Yeah, whichever one. I don't care how old you are, how old I am. You know, you don't have to, don't play the game, you know, well, I'm older and I know better. Fine, whatever. But there's been plenty of couples where they use that same nonsense and it gets them nowhere. Okay. Sometimes you need someone to give you a different perspective just to help you change some things up, right? Y'all need to be talking about new things every year, not the same old junk every year. Okay. Bruh, what's up, bruh? All right,
guys,
Angel.
I love you guys, but I'm going to bed. Drop me down.
All right, go to bed for the last time, for the love of God. Go night. Don't fall asleep in your pool though. Probably won't be any good. All right, Angel, what you got, man?
Yeah, so basically going based off that question is, how can I even prepare for a relationship / marriage beforehand?
What do you mean prepare?
Like, dang, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Like prepare, like to be ready.
Yeah, prepare to be ready. The number one thing that you need to do is you need to learn how to harness your emotions. That's what you do. You start learning how to do that right now, because that's going to be either the make it or break it part of the relationship, right? You're supposed to be the guy, right? Let me give you a perfect example. So when my wife was like, hey, you know what? I'm just done. I'm so done. She wasn't defeated, right? She wasn't like, she wasn't crying and she's like, oh my God, I can't do it. That's not it. She just realized, oh my God, so now we're going to take the pool back out, get in there. She don't want to spend her whole summer doing that. Some projects can be too long, but doing just a little bit of the project is fine. You don't even have to complete the entire project, especially when it's something that neither one of you've done. But when she said, you know what, I don't know, I said, fine. I said, well, then the whole thing's messed up. I'm just going to light it on fire. Now, obviously, I'm kidding. I'm not going to light that thing on fire. But when she heard me say that, she's like, what? She's like, oh my God. So she starts going in the house. Well, I didn't know.
Nope.
I didn't know she started going in the house. I just said, man, I'm going to light this thing on fire. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back there and grab all those branches, that whole burn fire. We're just going to use this hole to burn stuff. It's going to be our new burn pile right here. Bro, she didn't even hear half of that. She's already in the house. So I'm like, hey, what'd you go in the house for? She's like, well, you said you're going to burn up the pool. I was like, no, I was kidding. I'm not really going to burn up the pool. And she's like, oh, well, I thought you were serious. But let's say I was serious. Let's say that I told her, you know what? The heck with this whole project. The heck with this pool. And I go get some, I don't know, lighter fluid or some gasoline, throw it on, light it, and I burn it right in front of her. That's not a real good example. That's right. The Bible says we're supposed to be head of the house, right? So head of the house doesn't mean you don't do things biblically. It means you do things biblically. So harnessing your emotions is the thing that you need to learn how to do. That's the thing you need to learn how to do, because if you don't know how to harness your emotions, then how are you going to lead your family into anything, right? You can't lead them in the right direction if you're already heading down the wrong direction, right? So that's why the title of what we're starting to do. That's why it is a grit mastery family. Your job is to learn how to master grit. You need to learn how to do that. How to harness your emotions, how to recognize when there's a time to cry and complain and moan, and there's a time not to. You don't just complain and moan whenever you want. So if your kids see you flipping out, losing your mind, not knowing how to control yourself, that's probably the direction that they're going to go, right? Right. So your question is, how do I prepare for my future wife? Right. The Bible says he that finds a wife finds a good thing, right? Somebody pull up the verse. Where's that verse at, guys?
Also, I'm taking notes.
Yeah, take notes. This is going to be recorded on YouTube anyway. You can go back and listen to it. Somebody find that verse for me. He who finds a wife finds a good. He who finds a wife finds a good thing.
It's in Proverbs somewhere. I know that.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Faithful man? I didn't even know you're in here.
What up, dude? Yeah.
How long you been in here, bro?
Since probably, I don't know when you started, but you were getting everything situated, so probably around that time.
Oh man, you heard all the nonsense. Then good.
Yeah, it's weird because I was sitting here, I'm working right now, and I was like, I'm gonna see if they're on, and like if any of your guys are in the room, and I saw your name, and I was like, oh, okay, and I just hopped in.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I didn't get any alerts, so I don't understand. I turned alerts on for YouTube, for here. Maybe I didn't see it, but.
Oh, huh. Yeah, so somebody pull that up. Proverbs 18:22. Let me know when you got it. You got it? Mm-hmm. Read it. Mm-mm. You're not going to read it? Mm-mm. Scary cat. I'm going to put you on the screen. Scary cat. You going to read it or not? Sissy. Who's going to read it? Hello. Nobody's going to read it. Oh, my Lord. Hello from Amarillo. What's going on, Daryl? What's up, man? You better leave her alone. You better put your chunkala down. You better put your sandal down, woman.
Okay, I'll read it.
All right, read it. Come on. Read it. Go.
Oh. Nope. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh, my God. Angel. Hey, read, man. Come on.
Wait a second. I didn't say nothing.
Oh, it wasn't you? All right. We're waiting on you. Let's go read.
Okay. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord. This verse highlights the positive. We
don't need the commentary.
My bad.
Okay, anyhow. Okay, so it says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. Notice it says, he who finds a wife. Angel, what's a wife? What is that?
A significant other you are married to under God.
Right, so if you find a woman and you're not married to her yet, how is she a wife? It says he who finds a wife. So he who finds a rock has an extra rock in his collection. Well, if I found it, a rock, it was already a rock before I found it, right? Right. If I find a spoon in the street, it was already a spoon before I found it. Correct?
Right.
Okay. But if I find a piece of metal that has not been forged into a spoon yet, is it a spoon?
No.
You understand what I'm saying or not yet?
So basically, if you find a spoon, it's a spoon. If you find a rock, it's a rock. Basically,
Daryl said, "What?" Daryl, hold on a second. Daryl, just bear with me, Daryl. We're getting there. So, what am I saying, Angel?
So basically, when you find a wife, you find a wife.
Daryl said it's still a spoon. All right, Daryl, maybe you're not hearing. Daryl, if you find a piece of metal, like let's say a metal ball, and it's not forged into a spoon yet. It's just a metal ball. It's not a spoon yet, right, Daryl? Right. Let's say the spoon I'm referring to is made out of silver. Okay. Let's say the spoon is silver, and let's say you find a block of silver, just a block, and that block you're going to turn it into a spoon. So it's not a spoon yet. It is silver, but it's not a spoon because it hasn't been forged into a spoon. But it is silver. Not all women are ready to be wives. You understand? It says he who finds a wife. It doesn't say he who finds a woman. Right?
So basically a woman who's already prepared.
No, not prepared. I'm gonna just give it the name that what it is. She's already a wife, regardless if she's married or not.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Right? Not all man either. Well, of course, it goes both ways. It goes both. Right now, we're talking about a scripture in Proverbs that says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So we're talking about scripture. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because she's already a wife. She already knows how to do those things that a wife is going to do. Right? He who finds a wife, it doesn't say he who finds a woman finds a good thing. That's not what it says. It says he who finds a wife. So in order, like Angel was asking, what do I do to prepare? What you do is you have to become a husband before you're married. Just like a woman has to become a wife before she's married. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in order for you to become a husband, then you need to know how to be a leader, which means you have to start off following. So the question is, who do you follow? And the answer is Christ. The Bible gives us the answer. That Jesus is who men follow. So the woman can follow the man. Because if the man is not following Jesus, then the woman is following what? What is she following if the man's not following Jesus? So if the man doesn't have anyone he's following, who's the woman following? Is she following a man or is she following a husband? Which one is she following?
Man.
A man. And the Bible says not to follow man, right?
Right.
That's what it says. It says every man is a liar. Every man. It's not pointing at someone who's saved. It's pointing at someone who's not saved or someone who doesn't submit themselves to God. So if a man doesn't submit himself to God, then he's just a man, which means a woman can follow him wherever he goes, but he's not leading her anywhere. So the question, what do I got to do to prepare for a relationship? You have to learn how to be a husband. And a husband is a leader. How about pastor? Daryl, what do you mean, how about pastor? What do you mean by that? Pastors, what about pastors? I don't know what you mean by that. So while we're going through this, a Grit Mastery family, Angel, the focus is going to be harnessing emotions. That's the focus. That right there is going to be the root that allows everything else to fall in place. From that root, you can have lots of fruit, right? Now, if you don't learn how to harness your emotions, then what good are you going to be? You're not going to be too good, right? You're not going to be too good. So let's see. Would you say, Starlet, the woman is the influencer? Well, they work as a team, right? Husband and wife work as a team. So like a woman or man can influence the other person in the wrong direction, right? But they work as a team, right? So there's there's a we can call it a hierarchy if you want to, right? It's not completely wrong, because you have God, then you have husband, and then you have woman. But it has to start off by the man humbling himself to God. So if the man doesn't humble himself to God, then he's not head of the wife. He's not head of the wife. He's a man that's a head of a woman, but he's not a husband that's head of a wife. It's just a man head of a woman, right? How important is it to have a pastor to lead his sheep? Yeah, well, when it comes to the whole pastor leading the sheep, right? When Jesus tells Peter, where he says, "Feed my sheep," he doesn't tell Peter, "Feed your sheep," right? He says, "Feed my sheep." So we're all the sheep of Jesus, right? Jesus is the head. So here we are again, right? Jesus is the head. Man, if you want to do the pastoral thing, man is the pastor. And then the rest of the people, I'm talking about the man that is the pastor, right? And everybody else is the sheep. I mean, I understand that hierarchy, but the truth is, Jesus said, "My sheep know my voice," right? So no sheep belongs to a man, right? The pastor he doesn't have sheep in the sense they're Jesus's sheep. And I know there's people's like, yeah, but he's still head. Oh, I get it, but we gotta put the credit where credit is due when it comes to the sheep, right? So even the pastor is a sheep, right? So when we say things like, no, the pastor's the shepherd, no, Jesus is the shepherd, right? There may be people that are pastors, that are putting, teachers. There may be people that God uses, but there's only one shepherd, and that's Christ himself, right? So no man should say that he's the shepherd. God may use you to, quote unquote, shepherd the flock in a sense that we understand, but there's only one shepherd, and even the pastor himself is a sheep. So, but regarding men and women, the man has to receive his leadership from the head, from the lead himself, which is Christ, right? So, Angel, what was the question you asked?
So the question was how to prepare for a relationship.
No, it sounded like you were asking something else.
Oh no, that was a question.
Or was that somebody else that was asking? I don't know. I heard something else. Maybe I'm tripping. What'd you say? Self-control is a fruit. Yeah, self-control. You're talking about patience. Yeah, self-control, patience. Yeah, those are fruits. Right, self-control is very important, right? Harnessing your emotions, that's what self-control is. Your emotions want to be in control. And when someone is led by their emotions instead of facts or something that is true, then you don't no longer have self-control. So having self-control doesn't mean your emotions are all over the place and you're just calm on the outside. No, a person who has self-control, they're calm both on the outside and inside. The situation may not be calm, but they're very calm. Even if they become 5% not calm, I think we can agree that being 95% calm is better than being 95% not calm, right? So, yeah, Angel. So the question that you're asking, how do I prepare? That's how you prepare. So harnessing your emotions is something that we're going to be talking about a lot. And there's a lot of people that don't even really understand what that is or what it means. There's a lot. They don't understand what you mean when you say harness your emotions. People will tell you can't. That they will start defending emotions and say that emotions are good because they're not understanding what it is you're. Matter of fact, what I'm talking about is so contrary to popular belief. That's how confused people are. They don't even understand what I'm saying. So popular belief will tell you that your emotions, all emotions are good. They're all healthy. Your emotions are there for a reason. You're supposed to use all of them however you feel like. And that's just not true. So it's 100% against.
Crazy.
So it is 100% against popular belief, what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that when I start telling them that you can control your emotions, they'll look at you like, you know, a cow looking at a new gate. Like, that's exactly how they're going to look at you. Like, what you're saying makes no sense. What do you mean control your emotions? They're so used to their emotions controlling them. When you say, no, you're supposed to control your emotion, they'll laugh and tell you that what you're saying is not making any sense. Your emotions are there for a reason, meaning you're supposed to just go with the flow. And it's just not true. Matter of fact, couples that don't know how to harness their emotions is a huge reason why the divorce rate is so high. They're constantly pointing at each other whose fault something was. It's your fault. But the Bible makes it very clear that love never fails. So one of them, whether the male or female, one of them could be acting contrary to the Bible, but what it takes is for the other one to love the person. But the other person doesn't want to love them because they feel either disrespected or this person wronged me, and because of that, we're getting a divorce. Well, from the very beginning, the Bible says that God hates divorce. So if God hates divorce, why is it both male and female, both wife and husband, if they are that, why do they so quickly come into agreement with getting a divorce when the Bible says that God hates it? Right? And Jesus even addressed this when he said it wasn't like that from the beginning. So at some point, you're going to have to come to this conclusion that if Jesus is saying, Moses gave you a certificate of divorce because of the hardness of your heart. So if Jesus is showing you where the problem was that Moses allowed you to get a divorce, why would you say, oh, well, if it's okay to get a divorce because of the hardness of our heart, and now God gave us a new heart? So hold on a second. So the Jews had a hardened heart. Again, it's all mankind. So don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's all mankind. But even God's people had a hardness of heart. We should understand why. But all of God's people had a hardened heart. And God's people wanted a certificate of divorce, but it was only given to them because of the hardness of their heart. They've already hardened their heart to the fact that you don't have to divorce. So he allowed it, and Jesus said, but it wasn't like that from the beginning. All it's doing is showing us how, at this point, how far away man was getting from God. They were getting further and further away. But that's why Christ came, right? To bring us closer and closer to him. And I believe as a body, we're becoming closer, okay? Not in the sense that there's a distance any longer between a man. No, not that. But as a body, in its entirety, as a body, more people that are part of this body are starting to just understand just a little bit more. And it's being passed on to the next generation while everybody's sitting here arguing about all that, right? And I can ask my wife here, that's here right now, based on what the question that Angel asked, wouldn't you say, in your experience being married, that it matters that your husband knows how to harness his emotions, or it doesn't matter?
Oh, 100% it does.
Yeah. So let everybody know why, or an example or something, so they can hear it from a couple, not just one person babbling, right? Because I tell you, a lot of times, like especially when we're just doing descaled, right? Majority of people who come on TikTok, they just see another guy talking about God. That's all they see. Just another dude talking about God arguing with these people, which descale don't do that, but the majority of people, that's what you're going to get. Everybody's arguing about what this guy's saying. Oh, that guy's wrong. Right. But sometimes especially when we're talking about family oriented things, people need to see that there's a couple that's working this stuff out. Not just saying I'm married and we work out things. No, sometimes both the male and female need to see both of them talking about what it is that they're saying. So you got an example other than the pool? What are you doing over there?
Coloring.
She's got this color at. Oh my gosh, dude.
I guess the laundry situation. You talked about it last time about how I get I don't want to call it OCD because it's not OCD. It's just my way or the highway. And instead of you basically getting upset with me when it comes to me grapping you out about you not doing the laundry my way, you basically look at me and be like, okay, you want to do it your way? You do it your way. I'm not going to do it no more. Instead of us continuing to argue, you shut it down, you let it go, and we move on. And someone that can't harness their emotions would continue the argument, and it would continue on for pointless of time.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, so you're pointing out that if it was always about like, well, I'm right, you're wrong,
right,
that I would be giving you rebuttals, right, and the conversation would just continue. Yeah, I can see that being a good example. Okay, so like for instance, on TikTok or YouTube, whichever one, both, right? You'll hear like Dre, you'll hear Dre say it all the time. Say, well, like, don't argue with Trot Man because he doesn't lose, he'll tie you. Dre says it all the time. He's not going to lose, he's going to tie you. You know, and again, that's this, right? But at home, like you can hear it from my wife, I don't do that to her. You understand? So people think like if you act a certain way around a group of friends, that's how you are. So they call Mackenzie Saint Mackenzie. They call Mackenzie Saint Mackenzie because they're like, man, how do you deal with Trot? Well, it's not the same. Like she's my wife. You know what I mean? So like there may be sometimes, like for instance, like if we're on the range and I'm trying to get her to understand how to manipulate her pew a little bit better, I may teach her the same as I would anyone else, but that's only because I'm trying to get my point across, right? But when it comes to like the life in the house, I'm not trying to rebuttal every little thing she does. You know, if she says, hey, you know, like again, you know, she's bringing up laundry, because I already know how to harness my emotions, I don't lose my emotions when she's telling me, hey, well, but the laundry and the shirt goes right here. I already know how to harness I already know that I'm supposed to be an example. So if you want your wife to argue with you more, just keep arguing with her. If you want her to keep arguing, then just keep arguing, because the way that this thing is, that as soon as a woman submits herself to her man, as soon as she does that, she's going to give you what you give her. And I got a good friend from Africa that literally told me and my wife that he thought we were crazy when he first met us. You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Dion?
Yeah.
He's like, I thought y'all were crazy. He's like, but I'm starting to realize it. And again, he's talking about on the range, okay? Because he would not be caught dead talking to his wife the way I do my wife on a range. He wouldn't do it. But I already told her, if you want me to teach you how to do this, you're going to deal with range rules, which means I don't care who you are, there are range rules. If your pew is facing in the wrong direction, you're going to get an earful. Period. I don't care who you are. There's no favoritism on the range. Now, again, my buddy is like, man, are you sure that's a good idea? I don't care if it's a good idea or not. There's not going to be that kind of an accident on my range. It's just not going to happen. Not with me there. If I'm not there and the accident happens, fine. But I'm not there. But while I'm there, it's not going to happen. And so he saw how I would get into her. Like, what are you doing? You can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, well, why? Well, don't yell at me. I'm like, oh, man. I was like, I ain't got time for that. I'm yelling. There's a lot of people here, and I'm going to yell. You're going to hear what I'm going to say. But all he sees is, even though there's other people in the class, all he sees is a husband yelling, and the wife is on the other end. And I was like, bro, we don't do that in the house. And I was
Not
like,
all the time.
Well, never. But like Dion, if I'm at Dion's house, I'll say, hey Dion, when I'm at your house and you're cooking, am I yelling at you like we're on the range? He's like, well, no. I was like, bro, range rules is range rules, and nobody's breaking them. House rules is something completely different. But he's from another country, okay, and it was just weird for him to see a man like again, all he sees is a man yelling and a woman's over here. He doesn't see nothing else. I said, bro, what she does for a living, I know what I'm doing. What she does for a living, she needs it this way. And matter of fact, she went to a range. Excuse me. She went to a range not too long ago, and she had a family member that was there. And the guy that was in charge of the range, I'm not going to say he acts just like me, but I'm pretty sure, wasn't he as strict when it came to who's going to the table, who's grabbing a pew-pew?
Yes.
And it was her family member. And the guy's like, hey, hold on. If you're not, pew-pewing, do not touch your weapon. And these people are like, oh, whoa, I didn't know. It's the same exact thing. Rules are rules. And it doesn't matter. The worst thing you could do is say, well, that's my wife, and I'm going to make sure that I don't. And boy, I tell you, I've even seen it. An accident would happen, and it's because that person that's in charge of the range, they loosened up on range rules, and now there's an accident. Okay, so.
Nina.
What?
Nina says, Saint, I don't care what everybody else says.
Nina just trying to start mess. Let's see.
Dre has seen us communicate inside of our house. Dre's like, Mackenzie, just arrest him. Like, put handcuffs on him.
Yeah. So, what's up, Angel? You got some? By the way, has anybody got anything to add or to say? Or, because we're going to start doing this. I'm on her side. Women are always going to be on women's side, So it's nothing new, right? But
well, I'm much prettier than you.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm okay with that. It's okay. I ain't doing no tripping on that. Oh crud. Let's see. Ashley, what are you doing in here? I see you.
She's on Team Mackenzie.
How long she been in here?
She's been here for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna kick her out.
No, you're not. Don't kick her out. She's my favorite.
She can't be in here.
She's my favorite sister-in-law.
Yeah, everybody give my sister-in-law some love. She's in here. I didn't even know she was in here. All right. Okay. Hey, anybody have something to say? Is there somebody that's new to Descaled that might have a question in the... Oh, man, what did I do? What the heck? I don't know how that happened.
You touched it.
I don't know. Yeah, if there's somebody that's never came up before, if you want to come up, if you have a question or something, you can 100% ask. And I do apologize. Let me say this. I do apologize that it's late. But like I said, the day was very hectic today. So this live more than likely is going to be in the morning or in the early evening. It's not going to be at 10 o'clock at night. Let me make that real clear.
Because I got to sleep in.
Yeah.
So is this like are you doing like a study, or is this just like you want questions about marriage?
Yeah. So thanks for asking that. Cause you probably don't know. No, we recently, this live today is the first live of a show that we're just starting called A Grip Mastery Family. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you have Descaled, which me and you have talked about a lot of that, Faithful, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's one show, Descaled, okay? This show is literally going to be focused on how the wife and man interact with one another, but the root of it is going to be harnessing emotions, because that's where for whatever reason, that is the hardest thing for both male and female to learn how to do before they get married. They don't know how to harness their emotions, and they start allowing their emotions to become a battling ram to penetrate the other person. Look, the quickest way to your spouse's heart is not a battling ram. Okay? The Bible says that love never fails. So the quickest way to their heart is love. That's the quickest way. And the Bible lays this out for us very simply. It's just for whatever reason, people are looking past the simplified part of this, and they make it harder than what it really is. And it all boils down to not being able to harness your emotions. Again, I believe every relationship has gone through something, regardless whose fault it is. But I think my wife can tell you that becoming a battling ram against your spouse is not going to do not even close of a good as a job as using love, right? So, and remember, love is something that when the person doesn't deserve it, you give it to them anyway, right? That's what love is. Love is not, we're doing great and I love you. No. Love is the other person doesn't know how to harness their emotions. They use you as a punching bag, right? Try to manipulate you. Everything's your fault, and you see what they're doing, and you put your guard down, and you just love them anyway, right?
I got a question.
What?
Yep.
So Starlet said that.
Hey, right here. We're not gonna be able to hear you if you're looking down there.
I'm reading.
There you go. Get it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Starlet said, if a man doesn't want to work, then nothing's going to work. And I asked, can you explain what you mean? And she says, Batman depends on women, and women gives him gifts. And then she said, person doesn't, okay, but when they depend on you, that's another ball game.
All right, hold on a second. Let me see. Starlet, you want to come up here? Because I think we're losing translation.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. All right. So what are you talking about?
I'm just saying there are some men that don't want to work, or they want to work part-time, and they depend on the women to give them gifts. And it's like, the man, I feel like the man is supposed to bring home the bacon, and we're supposed to cook it and make things work and add to it. And, like a Proverbs 31 woman, like, yeah, buy land and build our man. But it's like some of these men are still between the boy phase and the man phase, and they haven't reached the man phase, and they're looking for a woman to be their mother instead of the partner.
All right, so let's look at the real issue here, okay? The real issue is not men are supposed to kill the animal, give it to the woman, she makes it, right? That's not the real issue. The real issue, believe it or not, is I've talked about this before, and it's the should thinking error. Right, there is a thinking error, and it's should, right? And most people do not want to acknowledge that, okay? But it's there. So let's say we stopped all women from working, and all men have to work. Is that what should happen?
No, because sometimes women could bring home the bacon.
All right, so let's get rid of the should factor, right? So when you say all these men are still being boys, the question would be, like, what exactly are these guys doing that's making them boys? Like what?
They live off the woman, and then they cheat on their woman.
All right. So now we're talking about immature men, right? Is that what you're talking about? Immature men? Is that what we're talking about right now? Pretty much?
Absolutely.
All right. So there are both immature men and immature women. Right. And all this comes down to harnessing emotions. So somebody pull up the verse that talks about cheating on your wife. You're no different than a horse. Does anybody know where that's at? No? I'm going to do everything myself tonight, I guess.
Well, if you give us a second.
Y'all taking too long, man. So stick with me, Starlet. We're gonna go through some of this right now. I know it's late, guys. If y'all have to go, y'all go ahead. We're not going to be on here much longer, but we'll be on here just a little bit longer.
What'd you say?
That's new to me. I never heard that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna show you how the Bible is how it's pointing to what the issue is.
What
Okay.
did you say? Cheating on your wife? What?
Cheating on your wife is no different than
a horse.
no different than a horse. Okay. Now again, I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, okay.
Dre, you already sleeping or what? That boy already out.
I think he had said earlier that he was going to get off. Someone will come up, and then I don't.
Is it Ezekiel?
I don't remember it being.
There she lusts after her lovers. Who's?
Is it in Numbers? Maybe Numbers 5.
For some reason, I think it's in Proverbs or Psalms.
I'm way off.
No, I could be wrong. I'm saying I said for some reason I think that. Let's see.
You can think.
It's another translation, donkey.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I found.
Okay, hold on. But is it in Psalms or Proverbs?
Either.
Okay. Well, the one I'm talking about. Listen, guys, the one that I'm referring to is in Proverbs or Psalms. So if you're somewhere else, that's not it. Okay.
Let's see.
I wish I had my team here.
They're sleeping.
Everybody's not. I said it's too late. We ain't trying to hear that right now.
Yeah, I just woke up again.
Oh my Lord, have mercy.
Who said that? Oh, Bill.
Let's see.
I don't know. I can't find it.
It's in the Proms or the Proverbs or the what I say the Proms. It's in
your prom back in the 1990s.
Yeah. So it's in the Psalms or the Proverbs, and it talks about a man cheating on his wife. Says something like animalistic, like a horse or something like that.
Let's see.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm seeing something that's like in Ezekiel, but
no, my Lord, guys, listen. It's in
I'm finding.
It's in Psalms or Proverbs. Okay, please.
I feel like this is going to be completely different.
No,
than what you're
it's not. No.
I know what you're thinking of. But I think it's not. I think it might be some with the animal too.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna look at this. I used to read Proverbs every day, for each chapter every day of the month.
Yeah, let me see.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
Proverbs and Revelations is my favorite book and has always been.
Somebody go to Proverbs 30:20. Let's see if Trina hit it on the head there.
Or Jeremiah 5:8, if that's not it.
All right, let's go to Proverbs 30:20 first. Who's there?
I'm here.
All right, read it.
So Proverbs 30:20 says, "This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I have done no wickedness."
Man, Trina, that's way off. All right, she's like, I tried. Y'all get off my back. All right, Jennifer.
I see like
Jennifer.
632.
Do what?
Where it says like I just see 632. It says he who commits adultery lacks sense. He destroys himself.
Hold on. What translation are you in, Faithful?
Well, that's ESV. Sorry.
Okay, go to the man's translation.
Go to what?
Go to the man's translation, not the woman's the man's translation. King James.
Yeah, King James. Right. I went out of King James. I thought you read ESV, so I went to that.
No, it's fine. Go. Yeah. Hey, read. Hold on. Faithful, read. Hold on a second. Time out. Hold on. Faithful, read the same verse, but just read in the King James.
Yeah, but whoso committeth. Oh man, my iPad just locked.
What verse was it? Where was it?
Whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. His own soul. But that's what I found with man cheating.
Yeah, that's close, but that's not.
That's not the one you're looking for.
Yeah, Jennifer. Oh, don't worry. We're gonna find it. I don't mind spending a few more minutes because it's important what it says. Jeremiah 2. Is it Jeremiah 2, Jennifer?
Jeremiah 5:8.
Okay, read
They
it.
were as fed horses in the morning. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife.
Oh my God, Jennifer, are you paying attention to the conversation? No. Okay.
It's not donkey.
Proverbs. Okay, hold on. Proverbs 20. Somebody read Proverbs 20:18.
Are you saying?
Oh my God! Listen, somebody read Proverbs 20:18.
Be nice.
Every purpose is established by counsel and what? Proverbs 20:18. Is that what you said?
No.
Guys, where in the world are y'all getting the word horse in this? I'm sitting here telling you that there's an animal in there. Oh my God, you guys driving me crazy, man.
Because you said horse, brother.
Wait, are you sure it's not donkey?
Oh my God, listen, Angel, whatever verse you got that has donkey in it, just read it for God's sakes. Read it. What is it? What is it? Before you read it, what is it?
No, I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter if it's donkey or horse, okay? How about that? Okay? But it says horse in the King James. And if I'm wrong, oh well. We're going to get it. I'm going to show you. Let's see. Starlet, don't forget what we're talking about. Okay? Because we're talking about man not being man trying to be men, but they're boys and they're cheating. Right, Starlet? Ain't that where we're
I
at?
didn't forget anything. I'm waiting for it.
I know. Just bear with me. I apologize. If I had the whole Bible memorized, I would tell y'all I do. I don't. Okay?
That's shocking.
You listen here, woman. Don't embarrass me in front of my friends.
I'm pretty sure I have more friends than you do.
No, I got a lot of friends. All right. Let's check it out.
I'm checking it out. I can't find it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you because when I find it, I'm gonna say, "Where were y'all at? Where were y'all at?"
I'm sleeping. Where we all should be
No,
sleeping
hold
right
on
now.
a second. Let's see.
Nina said, "Okay, so don't embarrass him in front of your friends."
I feel like I'm like literally know what he's talking about, but I'm not on the same. I can't figure it out.
It's okay. I don't know half the things he says. That's all right. No worries.
Let's see.
It's not going to say a horse. It's going to say a pig or a cow or something. I mean,
Oh, it could be pig.
I mean, come on now.
Oh man,
The pig could be good. That could be it. One.
Let's see. Psalms might be right here.
Looking for Brother Trump.
Huh?
Like, obviously, I'm confused at what you're looking for.
Well, obviously, because the one you read had nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Roddy, it's not in Ezekiel's.
Well, can you read the question?
All right, Jennifer. There is a verse that says that a man, listen, I'm paraphrasing, that a man that cheats on his wife is no different than a horse. Okay? Like he's just an animal. That's pretty much what it's saying. So,
Okay.
I'm thinking it's in Proverbs or Psalms. If somebody says it's somewhere else, fine, it's somewhere else, okay? But if I read the verse that someone gives me and it doesn't relay that message, then that's not the verse, okay? If you say a horse galloped in the waters, listen, if you're reading a horse galloped in the waters and the wings drove him away, that's not saying talking about adultery against your wife. This is talking about adultery against the wife, okay? The verse that I'm talking about. I don't know why we keep reading all these other verses that has nothing to do with what we're talking about here.
If you don't find it tonight, I still want to see it.
Don't worry.
Very important.
Don't worry. I've read this verse many times. I just don't have it memorized. Okay, but that doesn't mean you use this verse to go beat it over your head of the husband, because I'm getting to a point. Okay, this is not a mockery. This is not a verse to tell your man, ha, you're an animal. That's not why I'm bringing the verse up. Okay, it's not this. Now, again, we don't use our relationship as a battling ram.
For women to use so they know who their husband is and who is not.
It's all right. We're going to go through it. Let me find it. Okay, it might be
the only thing I see is Proverbs 6:32, but it says he has no sense.
Okay, read it. Oh, is it King James version?
That's the one I read.
Is it King James version?
Yeah.
All right, read it.
6:32 says, but a man who commits adultery has no sense. Whoever does this does so. Hold on. Destroys himself.
Okay, hold on.
Is he reading New King James, or can we read that?
Hold on a second. Hold on, Bill. What did you just read? Give me the address.
Proverbs 6:32.
Proverbs 6:32.
What I had read.
Proverbs 6.
Someone said Jeremiah 5:8.
All right, well, somebody read it. Who in the heck is sleeping?
That'd be Bill.
It's the same one I read. Only
No, I'm awake. I'm
it's
awake.
not it.
Somebody's snoring.
That's the only thing.
Commit adultery with a woman lacketh understanding and do it.
Somebody is snoring.
Who is snoring?
That sounds like you snoring.
Shh. Just listen.
Just listen.
If you're snoring, drop down so someone else could hop up.
It might be Faithful.
No, it's not me.
Who is that? Bill, somebody in your house is snoring, bro. You're the only one unmuted.
Oh, my dog. It's my dog.
Oh.
My dog.
This dog going at it, boy.
I thought maybe you had a recording of Trot or something. I that's what I was wondering.
No, that's my doggy.
No. Sweet.
Jeremiah. So Jeremiah 5:8 says they were like well-fed, lusty stallions. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife.
Oh man! But whoso commits adultery, the woman lacketh understanding, and he doeth it destroy his soul. All right, let me read this one right here. Proverbs 6:32. Okay, so it says, "But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul." Let's see. Hold on. A wound. Let me see what 31. Be found to restore sevenfold shall.
I like actually the way the NLT says it. Says an utter fool, for he destroys. He's an utter fool who could destroys himself.
Yeah. Okay. So look. First of all, it says a man that commits adultery has no understanding. Okay. I'm telling you, there's a verse that says this, but it's referring to a horse. It's referring. Psalms 32:9. I think I just read that. Psalms 32:9. It says, "Be ye not as the horse or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with the bit and bridle, lest they come near and see. May sorrows." Let's see. Shall go. Let me read it over here.
Dang, beat them up.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh man, it's killing me. It is killing me.
Thank goodness for life insurance.
I know it. Proverbs 6:32, Psalms 32:9. Yeah. Okay, so we can still use those. It's telling you if you don't, like for instance, matter of fact, somebody find we can just use those together, right? If you read Proverbs 6:32 and Psalms 32:9, they both are pointing at having no understanding, okay? Remember, when the Bible talks about the Spirit of God, it gives these very specific names, right? Like in Isaiah 11, 1-4, it says, and a rod will come from the stem of Jesse. And it says, and the Spirit, I think it says, and the Spirit of Lord or the Spirit of God will rest upon his shoulders. And it starts going through these attributes. It says the Spirit of understanding, the Spirit of wisdom, the Spirit of might. But it says the Spirit of understanding. So you're either going to have the understanding of God, or you're going to have the understanding of a horse or a mule, right? Which means you're so caught up in your flesh that you would commit adultery against your wife because you don't have understanding. But the understanding that it's pointing to is God's understanding. Okay? That's what it's pointing to. Because if you have the spirit of understanding, you would not be so caught up in your flesh that you couldn't tell your penis no. Right? Which goes back to harnessing
the righteousness of God, the spirit of God, the root of God. That's
right.
what you're talking about.
Right. So a man that is not born again, who does not have the spirit of understanding, which is the spirit of God, okay? But if you don't have the spirit of understanding, what is going to stop that mule or horse from committing adultery? Where's the power that's going to drive this
Absolutely
man?
Nothing.
Right? Okay, yeah.
Because they don't have a choice over their body. They just go with their flesh.
Right. They just go with they don't know how to harness their emotions. You understand?
You know what? And that's my problem. I keep choosing the wrong man.
Okay, well, that probably could be, and I don't want to have to say that, but if that, I mean, you would know. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I found the verse. I choose.
Okay, hold on. All right, hold on a second. I got to say, hold on. Angel, you better be right because you're interrupting us. Go ahead, Angel, hit it.
Okay, so Jeremiah 5:8. They were like well-fed, lusty stallion. Everyone.
Hold on, Angel, hold on a second, brother. I need you to enunciate when you're saying, brother. Come on.
Okay, brother Angel, I'm gonna save you because I've been trying to tell you in the chat. I said it on the mic. That's the same one I read.
All right, hold on, Angel. It's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Angel, read it anyway, but slow down, brother. We need to hear the words you're saying. Go ahead.
Okay. So, they were like well-fed, lusty stallions. Everyone neighed after his neighbor's wife.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but that's not the verse I'm talking about.
Did we go already?
Yeah, we read that 100 times.
One. Hold on.
All right.
Did you read this one?
I don't know. What is it?
Ezekiel 23:20. For she dotes upon their paramours, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issues is like the issues of horses.
Read that in the Amplified.
For she lust after her lovers there, whose flesh is like the flesh of donkeys, and whose issues is like the issues of horses.
Yeah. The one I'm referring to is talking about a man that's doing it. But again, it still proves the point, right? Because what he's reading is saying that when someone does this against their spouse, they are like a mule or a horse. Do you understand? They lack understanding, right? Somebody read Isaiah 11:9. Isaiah 11. All right, go ahead.
Isaiah 11:9.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that says, "They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea."
What the heck? Who gave us that address?
I'm not sure.
Well, put it up. Put them on discipline. Put them on mute.
Put them on discipline. Listen.
What was the address?
It doesn't matter. That wasn't it. All right, we're going to try a few more times, but I'm hoping. Let me say that, Starlet, are you at least seeing the point? Because there's always more than one verse that says this.
Absolutely.
All right, but there is one specific one, and I apologize that I can't find. I have failed as a human being.
No, it's okay. If you find it in the next month or two, I'm on TikTok. I came to TikTok, and this is my only social media account for real.
Oh, okay.
So I decided to stay here because you can make some money, and I need some
because you can make some money.
Everyone else does. Yes.
You're on here because you're trying to make money.
I haven't made any money. I've spent money, but I'm just here. Maybe in a year I'll make some money.
Yeah. Well, hopefully in a year we can learn how to harness our emotions while you're trying to make some money. What do you think? Maybe? Hopefully?
Absolutely.
Possibly.
I think that's
And I'll tell you
right
now.
Relationships when it comes to men, because what I'm seeing, and I don't want to talk about anyone or gossip, but what I see is men men have more emotions than women, and women don't understand that. And when they blow up, they blow up.
Yeah. And again, that's why I'm talking about what I'm talking about is any human, whether male or female, it's either one, okay, have emotions. The problem is when you don't know how to harness them. That's the issue. And so that's what we're talking about is if a man is supposed to lead his family, that doesn't mean you just become more emotional. Now you're leading your family into an emotional hell here on earth. And I promise you, no woman needs help with that. I can promise you. OK, she can ruin her own life with her own emotions. She doesn't need a man driving her emotions up the wall further. OK, I can guarantee.
Men are supposed to be more logical, period.
Well,
and women are more emotional because God gave us the monthly. You guys don't have that. We have it.
Well, again, the Bible doesn't say if you're on your monthly, it's okay not to harness your emotions.
I'm not very nice on that monthly.
That's okay. But you can But you can choose to be, right?
I try to.
My wife's nicer.
Told me to be nice.
Yeah, but I mean, the point I'm making is it is true, right? We all know this, that a woman's hormones, right, can become unbalanced during the monthly. It can. But what I'm saying is, biblically, the Bible is supposed to be telling us the truth, right? So when we say, well, I don't care what the Bible says, that's a problem, right? And now, again, I'm not saying anybody here is saying that. I'm saying it would be wise for us to stick to what is true. And the Bible doesn't say when a woman is on her monthly, meaning she can be as emotionally unstable as she chooses. No, Jesus always points to us to gird our loins, meaning harness your emotions, gird your loins. So your feelings may be able to tell you, hey, this is how I feel, so this is how you should act. You can believe that, or you can say, I'm more than a horse. I have reasoning and understanding, and I'm not going to allow my emotions to destroy a relationship. You can do that too. It's a choice. So if we say that when a female is on her monthly, if we say that there's not any chemical imbalance, that's a lie. That's not true. It is.
I totally agree with you because it's something that doesn't happen when you are 15. It's something that happens when you're 25 or older. It comes with time. That comes with time. It doesn't just happen early.
Yeah. Are you talking about learning how to harness that comes in time? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Oh, it does.
Hormonal balance. And then it's like, because a lot of times women lash out. And they just act any kind of way, and they think it's okay, and it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. But we're wrong if we act like we don't understand. Now we become wrong. No. We need to understand. Okay, I'm not saying you got to go to get a degree in freaking the biology of a woman. You don't got to get a degree, but we can all at least agree that we can come to some understanding on why that happens. And that's why the Bible says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. That's why it says that. Correct. It says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church, meaning that Jesus, God, right, the bridegroom, he had a reason to love us, meaning that there was a reason we needed love. Mm-hmm. There's a reason.
I think everybody needs love.
Well, I know, but I'm pointing out. I know, but I'm pointing out that there's a reason that the Bible says husbands love your wives. It doesn't say wives love your husbands.
You know what? Because in Genesis at the beginning, all right, hold up for a second. Oh my gosh, it was like in the garden, and after Eve gave him whatever kind of fruit, God was like, it was like a sentence, and it was, hold for the woman, for the man, and for the devil. There was a sentence. And the thing was, in that sentence, when that it was like a crime that happened, the first crime. So, yeah.
All right, well, let me say this, Starlet. Hey, you probably need to come to Descale. Have you come to Descaled before?
I did come once before or twice before, a couple times.
So
I didn't talk.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, so I go over that like in depth. Okay, now obviously, you have the Descaled symbol behind me right now, but what we're focused on is family, right? And so I don't have another page for that just of yet, but we will have one for it, and we're even starting another one, which Dre is going to be in charge of, and that show is going to be titled "A Timeless Yeshua." Okay, and that's going to be focused. Okay. That's going to be focused on Messianic Jews that they basically understand and acknowledge Jesus, but of course, the show is going to have the name Yeshua. It's going to have it in Aramaic. But
Are you a Messianic Jew?
No, I'm not, but Dre is. Okay, so the guy right here that he's.
So you speak Hebrew?
No. Listen, Dre is a Messianic Jew. Dre, I'm pointing at him.
Yes, can Dre speak? Do you speak Hebrew?
No, well, Dre's not. He's not available. Like, he's running around doing stuff right now, so he's not. He can't even hear you probably.
Okay, because a Messianic Jew, I know that term, and there's someone in my family, and I would say Baruch Yeshua HaMashiach.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? So the show is going to be.
You know what that means, right?
Well, it's talking about Jesus being the Messiah.
Yes, that's exactly what it means. It means Baruch Yeshua HaMashiach means blessed be Jesus the Messiah.
Yeah. So
because there's someone in my family that taught me that.
Yeah. So I don't speak Hebrew. I studied it for several.
I need to learn it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't have to learn it to speak it. I mean, unless you're going to go somewhere where people are speaking it. But I do believe that it should be studied so you can have some sort of understanding why certain people have names. So it's I studied it for several years. I mean, I'm still studying it, but I'm not studying it in a way that I want to go have a conversation. I'm studying it in a way so I can understand the language, just to help me understand the Bible a little bit more, right? Same thing with the Greek. But so yeah,
I want to take you back to Genesis. Just give me like.
All right, 10 seconds. All right, check it out. We'll hold on. We'll go. Let me say this. Hold on a second. Starlet. Hold on a second. We'll talk about Genesis for about 1 minute, and we're gonna move on to the male and the female. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, hold on. Let me say this. If you want to talk about Genesis more in depth, come to Descaled. Like I know that Descaled is live right now, but the topic is a grit mastery family. That's really what we're talking about. But if you want to talk about a little bit of what's going on in the garden, that's fine. We'll do it for a short period of time. Go ahead.
It was just a sentence that was given out from the man to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when that sentence came out, when God gave it to the man, gave it to the woman said she was going to give childbirth and be in pain and chase after her husband. When God said that the woman was going to be in pain and give birth and in pain and chase after her husband, I see that a lot of women chase these men nowadays. So that's all I wanted to say there.
Yeah, well, it doesn't say the man's going to chase after the woman. I mean, the woman's going to chase after
the man is going to go out there and work hard.
No, I'm saying the part you're saying where the woman is going to chase after the man. It's not talking about what you're saying, like run after the man and try to go find the man. It's not what it's talking about.
A lot of women do that.
Well,
and they'll do anything to have the man, and the man is actually not a man. He's still a boy. He's in the transition of being boy to man.
Yeah. So, but based on what you are saying, right? Because we were talking about this sunburn I got burns bad, Angel. It must burn bad. Boy, you had to text and make sure everybody knew about it. Where the heck did you get burned at?
There's some green gel you can get at CVS.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see.
Joe, I forgot what it's called. Solar cane, and it's green.
Mm,
I got the aloe. I got the aloe gel.
Yeah, put that on and only quarter.
All right, let me see.
And stay out the sun.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
hard. That's a hard one, but yeah.
Amazing. What's going on, man?
Is he on there? Oh, I see him.
Yeah, he just popped in there. What's up, man? What's up? Can you hear us?
What's going down, man?
Man, today was the official day that we're starting a Grit Mastery family. So this is the family side of Descaled. It just started today, right now, like an hour ago.
Amen.
Yeah. So we've been talking about a lot of things, and right now we're talking about, and everybody's giving me a hard time, which I am in agreement with, because there's a verse that I cannot find. Can't find it for my life, but I don't want anybody to give up on me, and I want everybody to please go try to find this verse. And you know what? I do this a lot.
What talking about there, brethren?
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you. But let me say this first. A lot of times, guys, I get translations mixed up. So it could be a different translation that says it this way. So if that's the case, I apologize. Faithful, would you say I actually have some serious family stuff, issues going on, mother, father-in-law? Okay, Faithful, you can bring that up in just a second. I don't have a problem talking about that at all, because we are talking about family. That's what we're talking about. But Amazing just popped in. I just want to give him a second. What's up, man? What's on your mind, Amazing?
He asked what verse it was.
Oh, yeah, Amazing. So there's a verse in the Bible, and forgive me because I'm not saying it perfectly, but it says something like about a man committing adultery, he's no different than a horse that has no understanding. Something like that. And I apologize. I don't remember, because we went over 2 verses, and they both together, they pretty much say that. Matter of fact, let me see.
He's no better.
Do what?
Man, commits adultery.
Oh, hey, I know why they could hear us a while ago. Because I muted my mic and I didn't mute yours.
Oh.
That's what it was. I was like, how are y'all hearing our conversation? That's weird.
I will be going to bed soon.
That's all right. Everybody's going to be going to bed soon, I'm sure. And it's not.
I've been to bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he probably. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Faithful, what you got, man? Hit me with your best shot.
So I think Christian or Master brought me up because I was kind of messaging her about it. But so the other day on 4th of July, my mother-in-law basically caught my father-in-law texting somebody while he was outside on the porch or something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of went out randomly, looked, was kind of like, kind of verified he was deleting messages and stuff, So I don't know, man. I've been talking to her and just telling her that she needs to, he already has cheated before, so this isn't like a brand new situation. And I don't know, man. I just don't know. It's weird. I came in here talking about marriage, and I was telling her that she should tell him that they need to do couples counseling, therapy or something. And if he doesn't want to, I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like if he's not willing to do all that, I feel like she should separate at least. Well, I don't know what to tell her, because it's heart-wrenching to watch, she's my mom. I don't have a mom and dad anymore, so it's like watching my mom do this, and I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just a crazy situation. So I'm married, and I know my wife and I, we talk about everything. We're open book with each other. We have complete trust. So I wouldn't even know. It's not something we deal with. We don't deal with hiding anything from each other. We're not that kind of marriage. So
yeah, you got to be careful.
I don't know what to tell her.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, what you got to tell her is the truth, right?
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not easy for people to tell someone the truth. It's not easy, right? The truth is God hates divorce, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
I know that's why I'm like,
right. So, well, no, you tell
Maybe
you
she's supposed to just let him.
Well, no,
torture her,
hold on. Whoa. Before we get
I
into
don't
what
need
she,
a divorce. But
no, I know,
separate.
I know. What I'm saying is, before we get into what she's supposed to be doing, you first have to tell them the truth. How can someone make a decision properly if truth is not given to them?
Yeah, no, amen. That's
right.
I mean,
okay.
They're not divorced.
Right.
She's
So
been through this with him and didn't divorce him.
Right. So
she doesn't believe in divorce.
Right. Well, whether she believes in it or not, the first thing that needs to be discussed is what the Bible says about it, and God hates it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want someone to make a decision with a clear conscience, you got to tell them as much truth as you can. Nobody will ever give someone the most perfect 100% truth. It's never going to happen. But what you can do is you can start where the truth is, and then from there the person can make a good decision. But you don't tell somebody what to do, because if it doesn't work out, it's your fault.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? Okay, so what you do is you give them truth, and you let them decide what they need to do. So if they say, well, what should I do? Say, well, I just gave you what's true and what's not true. The decision is yours. That's life. That's life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is all about choices. Whether it's right or wrong, it's still their choice, and God's going to honor their choice because he's God. He's perfect. He's going to honor it because it's their choice. Regardless, like when Adam and Eve did what they did, he honored their choice. It was their choice to eat the fruit. It was their choice. But he told them a truth first. He says, don't eat it, because the day that you do, you shall surely die. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, if you want to die, then eat it. If you don't want to die, don't eat it. But he gave them the truth. And they took their decision, made a choice, and he honored it. So when people say, well, he allowed it, he didn't allow anything. He honored their choice. He gave them dominion. So in a situation where you have someone being unfaithful, there's a lot of things going on there. Number one, God hates divorce. So if God hates it, it's probably a good idea to try to maintain the marriage because God hates it.
Yes.
Right. So then when someone says, so you're telling me not to divorce? No, I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you the Bible says that God hates it. And the thing is people want to be told what to do. Well, that's lazy. That's lazy.
Yeah.
If someone just wants you to tell them what to do, well, fine, give me all your money. I'm going to tell you what to do then. Give me all of a sudden, they're not listening to your advice. But that's funny because they want you to tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
See, people only want someone to tell them what to do when it's very difficult. It is not very difficult for people to say, like if I tell you, hey, give me all your money. You're like, nah, matter of fact, I'm never coming back to your show. Very simple. So easy. But when it's a very difficult choice, they just want someone to tell them. So this goes all the way back to why people want to be under the law. This is the reason that people want to be under the law, because they just want someone to tell them what to do and what not to do. And then I'm good because I'm not doing the things and I'm doing these things. And now they're good now. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's real easy for people to be under the law, because the law says do this, don't do that, do this. And they're like, okay, if I do those things, but yet their heart is not there with God. But yet they're doing all these things or not doing these things. Right? So, and then if they don't make it into heaven, then they can say, look, God, you were wrong. I'm not in heaven, but you said do this, don't do this. And I followed all your rules and I didn't make it to heaven. It's your fault. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So
I wasn't, when I said
the sister put that verse in the chat. In the chat, Ezekiel 23 and 20.
I was meaning that she's been trying to get him to do counseling. She's been trying to get him to go to church with her. She's been trying all the things that she knows that she's been told.
Yeah.
And he refuses these things. So I told her, I was like, I'm not saying this is not divorce. I mean, like maybe just an eye opening, like, okay, well, I'm gonna go stay with, on her daughter, right? Like, come stay with us. And
okay, why is she leaving?
Well, I don't know what to do in this situation. I'm just saying I didn't know how to help her. I'm like, I don't know like how to get him to listen because what
do you mean yeah, what do you mean how to get him to listen? What do you mean by that?
Well, because she's trying to, she wants to work on their marriage, and he just doesn't want to. He just wants to just act like nothing's happening, and then he belittles her, and he, does
according to the Bible, what is she supposed to be doing?
Praying.
Praying?
Like, I mean, I would say loving. She's loving him, obviously.
All right, okay. That's a start. Okay, so how do you love someone?
The Bible says that to love us, right?
Okay. So how is she supposed to love him? Like, what is she supposed to be doing?
Oh, like a bunch. I would say there's a list of things: praying, supporting.
Praying is loving. That's what loving is. Praying.
All the different things we can be doing for each other, right? Like I don't know, what do you mean? Physically, or you mean spiritually? Like,
so how about forgiving him? Is that okay? Can she do that?
Well, yeah, for sure.
All right, okay. So does he deserve forgiveness?
Of course
he does. He deserves it. He deserves it.
Well, I mean, I don't know how it deserves.
The answer is no. The answer is no. He doesn't deserve. Yeah. He doesn't deserve love. No. He doesn't deserve it. He's a cheater, right? Ain't that what you're saying?
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay, hold on. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought you said this guy was cheating on somebody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he was, and I'm saying that I didn't say that he doesn't deserve for her to respect.
All right,
him.
No, hold on. My bad. Hold on. Hold on. So the guy cheated on her, or he didn't?
Well, we don't. It's not out in the light yet. He had before.
Okay.
Back in years ago, and their whole family, went through a bunch of stuff, and they've been working things out in their back. They're together and all that.
Yeah.
And now it's just the signs are all starting to show again that something's going on.
Oh. Okay, so we're not
just like, I can't do this again. She's just having that emotion. I said, well, then just you need to say something, like not just like keep it hidden. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
she's afraid of the insane meltdown and abuse that happened the last time, and
yeah.
So my only thing I can think of is just suggest that you feel that you guys need to do couples counseling. Like try to like get it to where they sit down with like a pastor that can kind of help them through there. That's the only thing I could think of in that moment when she's saying that she doesn't know what to do. I don't know what to tell her. Like because my flesh wants to say leave her. Like as the son, who I look at her like she's my mom, I want to go over there and be like, what are you doing? I want to be like in the flesh, but I know that's not the right way to handle it, so I'm not. But
yeah,
it's a very sad and frustrating, and I'm just watching her unhappy. Her son just came out as gay, and so she's got that in her house going on now too. She's she's going through a lot spiritually. Yeah. Now your husband's putting her through all this stuff, so it's just I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll just say this because it sounds
know what to do or say,
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of I don't knows. Okay, so there's not a whole lot I'm gonna be able to help out with because it sounds like you don't even know really what's going on. So I'll just say this though. Anytime something like this happens, someone comes up to you and they're talking about that it's possible that their spouse could be unfaithful or whatever, the worst thing you could do is lead that person to get a divorce. That's the worst thing you could do, right? That literally starts becoming satanic. It's
that's why I was saying counseling.
Well, let me say this. So it's witchcraft. So let's say this person, let's say it is true, right? Let's say that this guy is cheating on this woman, right? And someone comes in there and says, "Hey, what that person is doing is wrong to you. You need to leave. You need to get a divorce." Is that from God? Is that the advice God would give? No. God would not give. God would not give that advice. He would not talk someone into getting a divorce. God wouldn't do that. Man would do that. What's up, Madeline? What's going on? What's on your mind?
I think I'm muted.
Madeline, you're muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So TikTok is a global platform. There's a lot of viewers. So I'm putting the question out there for anybody's asking, or anybody's watching. If God came down to the earth, as you say in Book of Revelation.
Hold on, Madeline. We're talking about marriage and divorce right now.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say that how would you know if he was actually present?
Yeah. So are you a Christian, Madeline?
Yeah, I am.
You are? Okay. So your question is, how do we know God is present?
How does man distinguish God from the devil? What do you use to actually know this?
What do you use?
What do I use? I use, for example, I'm very fundamentalistic in this way. So if you claim to be God, if somebody claims to be God, then do something godlike. Create the world in 7 days.
But I thought you said you were a Christian. A Christian wouldn't answer that way.
What do you mean? How do you know that?
How do I know that? Because I'm a Christian. What do you mean?
So what makes you more of a Christian than me?
Who said we're more of a Christian? Who said that?
I asked you a question.
No, you didn't.
This was a question, Discald.
No, that's not a question. If you're asking someone what makes them more a Christian, nobody's more.
I was answering, and you kind of diminished my answer by saying that's not how you're supposed to answer. You're supposed to answer
I didn't say the word supposed to. No. I'm saying a Christian would not ask the question you're asking. You're asking a question that a person that's not a Christian would ask.
I'm sorry, no.
How long you been a Christian, Madeline?
I was born into Christianity.
What does that mean? Born into it. What does that mean?
My mother baptized when I was a baby.
Let me ask you this: when did you make a decision on your own to make Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior?
In Sweden, we call it confirmation. I don't know what you say in
That's
English.
Fine. That's fine.
I was confirmed when I was 15.
Hold on, Starlet. Hold on, Starlet. Hold on a second. Madeline, when did you make a decision on your own to become a Christian?
When I was 15.
Okay, so then why are you bringing up your parents? So you made a decision.
Because you asked me for how long I've been Christian. So I assumed that you meant that baptism was the first step in Christianity.
No, I'm talking about when you made a decision. So you made a decision to become.
So if you want to be clever, you're going to say, and I can be a prophet, and I can say that you're going to say like, oh, you're not a Christian. But you said that when you were 15, you were becoming a Christian, and actually you were supposed to say that you were baptized. Blah, 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 blah. I've heard it so many times.
Yeah, Madeline.
If you're a true Christian, you don't argue like that.
Madeline, are you in a bad mood? Would you come up here to fight or what? What's going on?
I'm kind of a bad mood, yes, because I believe this is Judgment Day.
You don't have to come over here and take it out on us, okay?
Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Whoa.
Knew it. As soon as she came up, I knew it.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I missed the question completely.
Oh well, it wasn't about questions.
Saying about like an atheist kind of a way.
Yeah, no, it's just it's all good. Okay, matter of fact, hold on a second.
Was she trying to set you up doctrine wise, trying to see you say something based off of doctrine and try to argue it or something?
Let me see.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right. Let's just move on here.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. You kind of confirmed what I was thinking. I didn't know if I should speak more in it, as being a man and my wife, and I don't know. It was just it's hard not to get in my flesh about it,
Yeah, no. Look, let us know when you know more about it, okay? Because right now we're kind of all over the place about this. So if you know more about it, we can talk more, but it kind of sounds like we're going to be talking about nothing regarding this, man. So, but it's all good. It's all good. Okay. Amazing, man. What you got, man? You're coming here and just quiet.
I want to tell you that verse you were looking for was Ezekiel 23:20.
All right. We'll read it. I don't think it is.
Just real quick, Trot. You have another request gift.
All right.
Box.
All right. Let me get Amazing to read this real quick.
Ezekiel 23:20.
Somebody read it. Somebody read it. Ezekiel 23:20.
Hold on, let me get my Bible.
All right. Yeah, Faith. I know Faith. I know. But we're talking about a man committing adultery is no different than a horse that has no understanding. That's what the verse says. And if it's a different translation, I'll find it.
Let me see. Ezekiel.
I'll let you read it.
23.
23:20. Go ahead.
20. Boy.
Yeah, that's not it, but go ahead and read it.
For she doted upon their paramours, whose flesh is in the flesh of donkeys, and whose issue is like the issue of horses.
Yeah, that's not it.
Yeah, Bill.
That's not it.
Bill read that already.
That's something that is saying something similar, but that's not the verse. The verse is talking about a man cheating on his wife, having an understanding of a horse. Okay, even though that's kind of saying the same thing, but like the point is, there's many verses that hint to this, but there is a specific one that I'm looking for, and I haven't found it yet. Let's see. Oh man,
well, that's a reference to Israel, or is it Judah playing the harlot?
Yeah, well, it's a reference to it's a reference to Israel, Judah, a single person, anyone that's not received the Spirit of God is going to be considered having an understanding of an animal because they're not born again. It's really pointing to a lot of things, and it's, when people say no, this is only referring to Israel only. Look, it is referring to Israel, right? It is referring to the people, obviously. But it goes, again, the verse that I'm referring to is talking about one man. So, it's pointing to a lot of things. It's never just one. Let's see. What time is it? 12:50. All right, guys, we're going to hop off. But I want y'all, I don't know the exact schedule, I think I already told you, Amazing, just now, but I'll say it again, because we're going to start doing a Grit Mastery family, which focuses on people that need to harness their emotions. Emotions is usually what causes people to get a divorce, right? Because emotions are going to lead to the root of the problem, right? Which is going to go back to self-centeredness, right? So if self-centeredness, if it's true, and it is, that self-centeredness is the root to all grief, then that's going to come back to harnessing your emotions. If you're not able to harness your emotions, usually it's because you're being self-centered. And you'll have people tell you, hey, can you pray for my wife, or can you pray for my husband? A lot of times, that's not the issue. The issue is the person is wanting the spouse to be better when they need to be working on themselves. Hold up. What'd you say? Hold up Google, because I heard it was.
I heard a lot of relationships break up because of financial things.
All right, so good. All right, so let's say, give me an example of a financial issue that would cause a couple to break up.
Okay, so a man, he has his job and he's had it for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden the company takes a hit and he gets fired and has to find a new job. And it might be a 6-month to a 1-year battle until he gets back to his position.
All right. So then?
During that time, the woman loses respect for him and then goes out and makes money and doesn't respect him, and the family breaks apart.
All right. And you're saying that the problem was finances.
Yes.
Right.
Because it was the finances.
Right. But I'm saying it's not finances in that situation you just gave me.
Okay.
I'm saying that when you marry somebody and you tell them till death do us part, I'm saying that lady lied.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? So if she knew how to harness her emotions, she wouldn't allowed her feelings to lie to her about her husband. She would have believed the word of God and loved him anyway, but she didn't. She's a liar.
Well, she loved him, but she had 3 children by him.
No, she didn't love him. No, she had feelings for him. Love is a choice. Love is an action. It's not a feeling.
Why would making money make her lose respect for him? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, hold on. Whoa, time out. Whoa. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's not do the whole, it doesn't make any sense. No. To the carnal mind, what she said makes perfect sense. But to the spirit, it makes no sense. To the spirit, what you said makes sense to foolish people in this world that we live in. But to God, what you said makes no sense. Right? So I think we all can understand that if somebody is in their emotions because of finances and they decide to leave, that makes perfect sense. It does in this world. But the Bible says we're in this world, but we're not of this world. So if we're not of this world, are we supposed to be acting like people in the world?
No, but she had to pick up the slack in order.
No. I know, but my question was, are we supposed to act like the people in this world? You said no. So if we're not supposed to act like the people in this world, answer me this. What would cause us believers to act like people in this world? What would cause it?
Our flesh.
Financial destruction.
No, it's our flesh. Our flesh. Our flesh
No,
does.
if you can't feed 3 children and your husband go off and
right.
you have to support the family and you get out there and you start supporting the family just to be, middle class, not even high upper class. It can be very stressful for a woman.
No, I know, but we're not. Hold on a second. Hold on. Faithful. Hold on a second. I'm not asking if it's stressful. We're in I understand that it's stressful. That's not the discussion. The discussion is because we're talking about flesh and spirit. That's really what we're talking about. If you're in your flesh, what the Bible tells us, if you're saved, you're not supposed to live in your flesh. You're supposed to live in your spirit. So when we allow what?
But
Go ahead.
we're humans, so it's like you end up living 75% of your spirit and the 25% flesh. There's all right.
Well, let's.
Spirit except
No,
for
I get all that. So let's go back to the phrase, right? But we're human. Okay, so Starlet, are you saved?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you got the Spirit of God living in the inside of you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a lot of people.
All right, hold on. So let's say that there's a person that doesn't have the Spirit of God living in them. Are y'all the same?
No.
Okay, hold on. Starlet. Let me just get there. I understand that if someone that does not have the Spirit of God in them, I can understand why they would tell me I'm only human. But if you tell me who has the Spirit of God living on the inside, if you say to me, I'm only human, I'm going to call you a liar. You're not only human. You have God living on the inside of you, right?
Right.
Okay, so that means that you are still coming into agreement with your flesh rather than telling yourself the truth. The truth is you're not only human. That's not true.
Okay, let me tell you, this situation I told you about was one of my best friends, and neither one of them believed in Jesus.
Well, there you go.
I believe in Jesus.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But the thing was, she had to pick up the slack for him when he fell off.
All right, now watch this. Let's look at what we're saying. She had to pick up the slack, or it pleased her to earn money for the family. Which one should be?
No, she didn't really want to do it because she did. She ended up being a stripper.
All right, so you said she didn't want to do it. Well, then something's wrong with her. Then she should have.
She just wanted the money.
Well, there you go. So then now we're me and you are talking about a relationship that was destructed before it even started.
Okay.
Right. So there should even be no more discussion on that worthless relationship at all. We shouldn't even talk about it because it was pointless. There was no love in that relationship, is what I'm telling you.
There was love.
It was conditional.
But they had 3 children, so there hadn't been love.
Well, no, you're saying there were feelings.
Feelings, yeah.
You're not. I'm talking about love, not feelings. It's not the same thing, right? So, in the Bible, Jesus never told anyone that he loved them. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Never. You'll never find Jesus telling someone, I love you. You know why?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. You know why?
Why?
Because love is an action. It's not a feeling. It's an action. People who love someone, they prove it. They don't talk about it.
Amen.
Okay. I agree with you right there, because even Steve Harvey says that.
Well, Steve Harvey must read the Bible. Steve Harvey must read the Bible. Okay.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. So Jesus didn't go around making people's flesh feel good by saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. He didn't do that because that's not what love is. Love is an action, and he showed it on the cross. Right? Correct. So in the situation where your friend, right, is married to this man, and something happens, and now she has.
They were actually married. They didn't believe in Jesus, but they were actually married and had 3 kids. And we're talking about 10 years.
Well, horses have kids. Horses have kids. Horses have kids too, right?
Yeah,
right,
but he fell off.
No, he didn't fall off. He never got on. Mm-hmm. You understand? Both.
He wasn't on because he wasn't connected to Jesus.
Right. So he didn't fall off. He never got on. She didn't fall off. She never got on. They were both wrong. Not one more than the other. So he didn't have a leader, which means
they were both Republicans and had a lot of money.
It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. There are Republicans and Democrats right now that aren't saved.
They weren't saved, but
okay. They weren't saved. So
but when you look at the husband role and the wife role, like he provided and everything was good until he lost his job, and then
everything corruptible was good. Everything corruptible. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the Bible makes
when a man is looking to get married, it's not just self-control. They have to be providers too. They have to provide. Like the Bible says, Adam went out to work.
Okay. So is it wrong if a woman provides the money? Is that wrong?
No, because there are some women that can make a whole lot of money.
Okay. So when you say that the man has to provide, that's not true. Women can provide. Right?
Yeah, but the Bible says that the man had to go out work in the field.
Okay. So what does that mean that the man has to go?
It don't say that about the Proverbs 31 woman.
No, the Proverbs 31 woman actually bought the field.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
And the woman's the man's helper.
All right. Hold on a second. Starlet, I don't think that we need to start talking about marriage based on Genesis and Proverbs. Okay? I think we need to start marriage with the word love. That's where we need to start. For some reason, we're not starting there. We keep starting everywhere else but the word itself, love. The Bible says that God is love, right?
Okay, so define to me the difference between love and lust, because they are quite similar, but not.
They are according to this world. Do you understand? So you keep bringing me back to this world, and I keep bringing you back to heaven. Right?
Okay,
So, okay. So lust, the Bible has two. There's two lusts in the Bible. Did you know that the spirit has a lust? Did you know that?
No, but you said there's 2 lusts, so that's interesting to me because I thought there was one.
Yeah, we're going to talk about both. Okay, the Bible says there's a lust of the flesh and a lust of the spirit. Did you know the spirit had a lust?
No,
all right,
I had no clue.
Amazing. Where's the verse that talks about the spirit has a lust?
Galatians chapter 5, verse 13.
All right, Starlet, can you go to Galatians 5:13?
Older New Testament, because I'm opening up in the Proverbs. I'm in Proverbs.
Okay, yeah. No, the New Testament to the right.
Galatians. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Psalms, Job, Naima, Isaiah. I never read Isaiah. Chronicles. Let me look for Galatians.
All right. Sure. Matter of fact, go to Galatians 5:17.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Galatians 5.
Want me to read it?
No, let her read it. You got your Bible with you, right, Starlet?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little dark in here. I'm trying to look for Galatians right now. I'm not as quick as you. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Everybody say bye to my wife. She's falling asleep over here.
17.
Good night, sister. God bless.
Good night.
All right. Go ahead.
Night, Sister Mackenzie.
I'm going to lower this down. Go ahead.
Do you need more questions from me?
We will. Don't worry. All right. You find it? Oh, where'd she go? Starlet, where you at? Starlet done ran off.
That's an interesting one.
Well, you hit the
No, I'm
camera.
here.
Hey,
I'm-
put that
I'm
back,
in
please.
Timothy.
Pay
I'm
attention.
trying to find Galatians.
Right there. That's perfect. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
All right, I can now. Go ahead.
You trying to find it?
Okay, I'm in Timothy. I'm trying to look for Galatians.
Oh, you're in Timothy.
Keep going. Keep going to
know
your
it's-
right.
To my
Go to
right.
your left.
Okay,
Go to your
left.
Go to your left. Go to your left.
All right, that's Corinthians.
Go to your right.
Yeah, if you went to Corinthians, you went too far.
All right. So Ephesians.
All right, go left.
No, go back. One
Left.
Go left.
Just,
one.
well, hey, if you're in Ephesians, go one page.
Wait, I found it. Galatians is small.
Oh,
All right,
yeah, it's
Galatians
not as
left.
big. It's not as big as Romans and Corinthians. Yeah. So Galatians chapter
It's not.
5. Galatians chapter 5.
Chapter 5, what number?
17.
Verse 17.
All right, hold on. I gotta put a brighter light on. Can you just give me like?
Yeah, no, go
10
ahead.
seconds?
Go ahead.
'Cause I don't have any light where I'm at.
That's all
Hold
right.
on.
That's all right. See, you're in darkness. We're trying to bring you to the light. It's okay. See, her. She's like, how dare you? She's funny. She's like, I came to TikTok to make money. Well, gold and silver I have not. But what I do have, I'm going to give to you right now. How about that? How about them apples?
All right, so Galatians, what number?
5:17. Galatians 5, verse 17.
Hold on. 5:17.
Yep. Go ahead.
Hold up. I see Galatians 6.
Galatians 5.
All
Galatians.
right, 5:17. Oh, I got some light.
All right.
17, 19. Hold on a second. 16. All right, 17. For the sinful nature desires.
No, Galatians 17.
Wait a minute. There's only 6
Galatians
chapters.
Galatians chapter
She's not
5.
in King James.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's
she's not
reading
that's
King
okay.
James.
That's okay. It don't matter. The Greek is still the Greek. It don't matter. All right.
Okay,
Galatians.
so chapter 5:17 says, "For the sinful nature desires what is contrary to the spirit, and the spirit what is contrary to the sinful nature.
Right.
They are in conflict with each other."
Okay. So right there, it's telling you that the spirit and the flesh are conflict against each other. Right.
Yes.
Okay, now when you go read that in the Greek, it 100% says that the spirit and the flesh lusteth is the word it uses. So let me read it to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna read it to you in the King James because it still uses
I'm in the NIV.
That's fine. It don't matter. The Greek is still the Greek. So it says right here. It says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh." And these are contrary to one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would. It literally talks about that the spirit lusts and the flesh lusts. Okay? The question is, what does the word lust mean? What does it mean? So,
yeah, because I thought I like the spirit lusting and the flesh lusting. I could understand the flesh lusting, but I don't understand the spirit lusting.
I know, but that's why. No, I know, but that's why we're gonna go over it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So it says, "For the flesh lusteth." Okay. So I'm gonna go look up this word lusteth. Okay. I'm gonna go look it up in the Greek. I'm gonna go look it up right now in the Greek. We're gonna look up this word. I wish I didn't have to do it, but since I got to do everything, All right.
No, it's good because now it's like I'm scared of verse 9 through the rest of it because I'm dealing with a whole lot, which is don't even make sense, but I am.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. I got you.
I mean, debauchery, discord, jealousy, selfish ambition.
All right. Yeah,
like,
we're not talking about none of that right now. We're talking about lust. Okay, talking about one at a time.
Okay.
Lusteth. All right. So it says, let's see, 1937. All right, 1937. All right. So it says, so this is the definition in the Greek for that word. Okay. So it says to set the heart upon, long for, rightfully or otherwise, right? And it says feign, lust after. So in the Greek, in your verse, it doesn't say the translation that you're reading, it doesn't have the word lusteth. So read 17 again. What does it say in your NIV?
17 says, wait, hold on a second. You says feign or feign?
Do what now?
Well, did yours say feign, F-A-I-N, or feign, like
yeah, no,
famous?
no, it says would feign, F-A-I-N. Okay?
Feign, like in vain.
So
Okay.
it says covet, desire, would feign, lust after. So read to me 17 out of yours, NIV.
For the sinful nature desires.
Right there. You see that word desires?
Yes.
Okay, when you look that word up, listen. When you look up that word in the Greek, it's going to say lust after. That's what it's going to say in the Greek. You understand? So even though I'm using the King James and you're using the NIV, it doesn't freaking matter because all I have to do is go look it up in the original Greek and it's going to tell me what it means. That's why I trust the King James more because it says the word lust just like it says in the definition, lust. So the NIV is trying to help people understand what it means. So it's using the word desire. And we know what that word means, okay? But in the original language, it means to lust after. So the lust that the flesh has, it has a desire, right?
Right.
Okay, well, your flesh has one too. The difference, hold on. Let me just say it. Let me just get there. So they both desire something. But your flesh, when it desires something, it desires only what it wants. It doesn't desire nothing else. So when we say, I lust after another human, right? If a woman says, I lust after a man, or a man says, I lust after a woman, we're pointing out, for the most part, a sexual desire, right?
And that's not husband or wife?
No. Just, right? Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So if I'm not married and I lust after a woman, I'm not married. Okay. Is that a good lust or a bad lust according to the Bible?
Not unless it's going to be your wife.
No, but it's not. It's not my wife. It's not.
Then it's like you're not married, so it's not good.
Okay, according to the Bible, it's not good. Why? Because that's the lust of the flesh. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the Bible talks about
that makes it hard to get married.
Like, well, hold on. But I'm not talking about marriage right now. We're just talking about the word lust. We're talking about the word lust. Okay, so the flesh has a lust, and we just explained that. So what kind of lust do you think the spirit has?
The lust of righteousness.
Okay. Why? Because you desire to be right with God, right?
Yes. You want to be right with God.
All right. So they both lust. The problem is we're so used to that lust being bad, we can't even see straight. But it's pointing to a desire. Okay. So watch. Now let's look at the verse again. So it says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit. See, the spirit wants you to be married to God. Your flesh wants you to go do whatever the heck you want to go do. You notice how it lusts against the spirit, not with it.
Hold on. You're not gonna like this, but I'm just gonna be honest. When you say it, wait, say that one more time.
Read it one more time. You mean to read it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you said about God, like.
Let me read it again. Let me just read it. Let me just read it. Let me just read it again. Okay. It says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit." So if the flesh is lusting over something that is against what the spirit is lusting for, that means they're not on the same page, right?
Right.
Right. So it says, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh." That means they do not hold hands. They are not in agreement. And it says that the spirit against the flesh, and it says, "And these are contrary to one another." They're contrary, meaning they don't think the same. And it says, one another, it says, "So that ye cannot do the things that ye would." He says, "But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law." If you're led by the Spirit. But the point I'm making is that Paul is showing us that your spirit and your flesh both lust on opposite things. Not the same. But there are two lusts.
So, yeah, there's two lusts. But my thing, when you're talking about this whole thing that you're talking about, when it comes to a human being and it comes to their physical and their flesh. So God did not make man to be alone. So you could be celibate, but you still have the desire to be with your mate. So it's like, it's demonic unless you're married. So nowadays it's hard to find the right person to marry.
Okay, but before we start getting into all that, I wanted to go over when you were saying, what do you mean that there are two lusts? Now you understand, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
There's a spiritual lust because you want to be pure and you want God to create a pure heart inside of you if it's not completely pure. Because if you don't have a pure heart, then you feel guilty of lust because you want to be married with your mate.
Right. Right. But your
It's
flesh,
very important
but your
to be
flesh,
married.
your flesh doesn't care if you're married or not, right?
No,
Right.
it's just like an animal.
Right. It's like an animal with no understanding. So we have to learn how to control that, or how to harness your emotions, how to harness them. You should know what is good to do, what's not good to do. Again, that's a baby step. Okay. It's a baby step.
You're right. That is the number one step because it's like when it comes to a family and a man, he has to harness
All
things.
right.
In order to
Why? Hold on. Why does he have to learn how to do that?
Because if he's emotional as she's emotional, it's just going to totally blow up because a woman is 100 times more emotional than a man because of the hormones.
All right. So watch this. Hold on. And God knows this. So he said, husbands, love your wives.
That's right, because a lot of men out here in the streets don't love the women they sleep with.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk about man in the streets. Okay, so quit bringing Satan into this. We're talking about believers. Okay, believers.
Okay.
I don't need to talk about all the stupid losers that can't do nothing but go to clubs because they don't know how to live. They're just like horses. They're like animals.
You're right.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Okay, now all of us were once there, right?
Yeah, at one period in time.
All right, so every one of us at some point, we neighed, right? Right, at the opposite sex.
That's right.
All right, until we came into agreement with truth that, oh, we're not supposed to be like that. Oh, okay. All right, so once you learn that you're not supposed to be that way, then you can start coming into agreement on how you're supposed to be. And we're supposed to lust after the things of the spirit, not lust after the things of the flesh. Once that clicks, now growth can happen. Now. But if that's not acknowledged, then growth can't happen. the seed time and harvest the Bible talks about, it'll never happen.
You have to be careful who you marry.
Well, no, it's not. You have to be careful who you marry. No. You need to start learning how to harness your emotions first. You, the person.
Okay.
Not be careful who. Okay. If you're trying to be careful who you marry, and the guy is trying to be careful who he marries, neither one of you are turning yourself into the thing people want to marry. So you need to first, like Angel, when he asked, he's like, hey, how does a guy like me prepare for a marriage? You don't prepare for a marriage by trying to find the right one. No. You become the right one first. You become the right one. If you're not the right one, then you're the problem.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is there's a development between boyhood and manhood and girlhood and womanhood. So you are not ready until you hit the either womanhood or manhood in order to get married. And there are certain steps that need to be reached before you get there.
Right. So if a woman doesn't know how to be a wife,
and she doesn't know how to cook,
right. So
clean.
if a woman, well, I'm not referring to cooking and cleaning. I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about I'm talking about harnessing your emotions. That's why you're going to keep hearing. You're going to, huh?
The monthly, that's big.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about the monthly. What about not the monthly?
Can I say something real quick?
If she can't cook or clean,
I'm not talking about cooking and cleaning. I'm talking about harnessing your. Notice how you keep trying to run away from harnessing your emotion. I'm starting to believe that anytime that your emotions pull you a direction, you just go.
Sometimes and sometimes not. It depends on.
All right. Well, let me just tell you this truth. If you learn how to harness your emotions, there'll be less grief in your life.
Yes, you're correct.
Right now, I'm not saying it. I'm not saying.
A lot of times, if I don't express my emotions when bad things are going on, and I portray and act like I'm in control, things work out compared to if I let go.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about holding in, letting go in just a second. Angel, what's up?
So would you say also being mentally stable as well, not just emotionally?
Well, learning how to harness your emotions is being mentally stable.
Yeah, you can't fly just off the handle over little stuff. You can't fly off the handle. I mean, unless it's something really big, like once every 5 years.
All right. Okay. Before we hop off, I'm gonna ask Starlet a question, and Starlet, just promise me you won't lose your mind over this. Okay. I need you to harness your emotions when I go over this.
Okay, I'll think about it five times.
Because look, this is not easy for people to pick up on. I'm being dead serious, boy. Even the scenario makes people lose their mind. So let me know when you're ready.
All right.
So let's say you have your favorite. Let's say you're a dog lover. I don't know if you are. I don't care if you are or not. But I'm a
cat lover.
All right, fine. That's fine. Cat lover. Okay. So let's say your cat Minx is at home, and let's say you're at work. I don't care. You're at Walmart. I don't care. You're somewhere. And I see your cat become unalive by a car. And I call you and I go, hey, man, your cat just got pancaked right now on the road. And, it's unalived. And so, you go to crying. Oh, my God, how did this happen? And I wait about 30 seconds and I go, I'm just playing. Now, obviously, I'm going to run away from you, right? Mm-hmm. It's a cruel thing. But you were crying. Now, in the scenario, you were crying. Okay? But here's my question. What's your answer to this? Why were you crying if nothing happened?
Okay, so I'm a little bit different because someone just said something to me because I had these homeless cats in my basement and I let them go. and someone drove down the road and said, yeah, like 1 block from the house to the right, I saw some fur that looked like Tony, which if you go back in my videos, you'll see this tiger looking cat. And like, yeah, it's his fur color and it's on the ground. I was like, let me know if you see Tony or not. I was really upset, and I just like, God, that cat is like smart. That cat, please. I let it out the basement for the, because it's homeless. I don't have money to get it vetted. So in the summertime, it's going to run the streets, and then in the winter, it'll come home until I can move to a better environment.
All right, Starlet, yeah, we're getting off the topic. We're getting off the topic. Listen,
I'm just saying I was upset, but I was like, and then Tony came back and he was fine.
Okay,
So
all right, fine. So a family member, I did it with the family member.
As the cat was okay, but I wasn't okay for the first 72 hours.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about a cat anymore. Let's say it's a family member. I did that too.
Oh, I wouldn't be okay. I would be on point. Be acting like a nut.
Maybe so, but I'm trying to show you something. Let's say that it comes out that I was lying. Nothing was wrong with anybody. I lied to you.
Oh, you'd be cut off for life.
Probably so. But let's say that you admitted that you cried when I lied to you, okay? Are you with me?
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
If somebody asked you, why did you cry if nothing happened? What would you say to them?
Because I love that person.
No, I know, but they didn't pass away. They didn't.
Yeah, I cried because I love that person. I thought something bad happened to them.
Right, but the point is you believed a lie.
Yeah.
So
I believed a lie.
All right, so even though we know it's wrong for someone to play like that, there's no question. There's no question. Would you say, if you're being honest, would you say that it's okay to cry over a lie? Is that okay?
It's not okay if someone made me cry over a lie and it was a lie and they intentionally meant to hurt me to make me cry. Absolutely not.
No, I'm saying, okay, let me say it another way. Is it okay for someone to lie to you, and instead of you making sure if it's true, is it okay for you to lie? I mean, not lie, but cry. Is it okay for you to cry over a lie? It's not true.
No. It's unfair for me to cry over a lie.
Right. Okay. So what I'm getting at is there are people. Okay. Now we all started little kids, and it's not easy for a kid to harness their emotions. It's not easy. It's hard. But when we start becoming adults, it is not okay for us to still act like children.
There are guys that will make you cry over a lie.
No, I know, but what I'm talking about is harnessing your own emotions, meaning that if someone gives you bad news, your job is to make sure that they're telling you the truth before you start mourning. You don't mourn.
Okay.
You don't mourn.
Find out the facts before you start mourning.
Wouldn't you say that's wise?
I agree with you. That's
okay.
wise
All right. So that's step one. That's step one. That just because someone tells you, quote unquote, bad news doesn't mean that that is the true end result.
Yes, that has happened before too. And I walked right past it and I kept moving. And it wasn't true what they said. They just were being evil.
Right. So this is how gossip gets real bad. Because someone lies, so here comes some gossip, and then it gets to this person that before you know it, there's a bunch of people that hear this rumor, this gossip, and when it gets to the person that it's about, they get distraught, they cry, they mourn, they don't like the bad news that they're hearing about themselves. They don't like the gossip. But then when you start backtracking on who said what, who, what, when, where, why, after a while, it starts becoming funny because everybody lied a little bit to make worse what was really said initially. which means that now the person that is hearing this thing about themselves, it all started because you showed up late to work. You showed up late to work, and the person said, oh, hey, so-and-so was late to work today. And before you know it, it ended up being you're fired. So you cry.
And you know what? That's exactly how the devil works.
Okay.
The devil takes something
all right.
And turns it
okay. So why I'm all right. So listen, if that's how the devil works, and we know that's how he works, and the Bible says that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, that's why he comes, and you hear bad news, shouldn't wisdom and understanding from God tell you before you believe that you need to make sure it's true? Right?
Yeah, but when you're losing your job, I'm going to be honest. I remember I lost this really good job I had, and I lost it for a stupid reason. It was because the head came to talk to me and wanted to teach me something, and the wife didn't like me because I was slimmer than her. And I lost my job, so I wouldn't be able to talk to Charlie again, which I was.
Okay, all right, but right now you're talking about you actually lost your job. It's okay to mourn if you really got fired. That's okay. But what I'm saying,
no, I got fired.
Okay, all right, well, all right, you got fired. You got fired. Okay, fine, you got fired. Whatever. All of us at some point either got fired or messed up at the job where you almost got fired, and you feel bad about it. I get that. What I'm talking about is it's not okay to believe a lie just because you heard it. It's not okay.
That's correct.
Right.
That's
so
correct.
so the reason
Say a whole lot.
Right. So the reason that I keep going over this is that's why I'm starting the show A Grit Mastery Family. Because when you started saying that you had a friend and they got divorced because of finances, I can go all the way back and show you that that's not the reason they got divorced. They got divorced because that woman didn't know how to harness her emotions.
You know what? They got divorced because Jesus wasn't in their relationship.
Okay. All right then, which means they had the lust of the flesh, right?
Right.
Okay, which means they didn't know how to harness their emotions.
They're not going to without Jesus.
You're not going to what?
They're not going to be able to harness their emotions without Jesus.
No. How can you control an animal when you're not the creator? How? How can a man not act like a horse? Okay. How can a man not act like just a mere horse with no understanding? How can he not act that way unless he has Jesus to show him you're not just an animal? You're not just human.
See, when you say horse, I think of a bull and how it bucks in the thing. I'm saying horse because the Bible does say it, but it's not just talking about just a horse. It's saying an animal. You're not just an animal. Yes, we're not animals. We're human beings. Because
I know, but hold on. Without God, a human without God is just an animal.
Like Nebuchadnezzar.
What about him?
Well, wait. Let me say this. He went animalistic for a specific reason.
Yeah, but we're not. All right, let's not talk about Nebuchadnezzar because all right, let's not get into that because there's a lot I can say about Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, but the point
he went animalistic. So basically, there's a difference between regular human being and animalistic. So,
all right. Well, let's not talk about Nebuchadnezzar. All right, let's get off Nebuchadnezzar. The point is, I'll make the last point because we got to hop off. Okay, I'll make the last point. All right, the last point is, or actually, there's many points that can be made, but we'll end it by saying that you have a human, okay, that doesn't have Christ living in them, and you have another human that does. Even a person that becomes saved, if they have not been nurtured, okay? So you can have let me say it this way. You can have a person that's an atheist, all right? He doesn't even believe in God. But can he be trained to behave?
Absolutely.
Okay, right? Okay, and now let's take a person that was never trained how to behave, and they get saved. But they've only been saved for one day, which means they just started trying to teach themselves how not to act like an animal. But yet you have an atheist, doesn't even believe in God, but he's been trained since he was a baby how not to act like an animal. So isn't he going to be a little more well-trained than the person that got saved yesterday?
It depends.
No, it doesn't depend, because the Bible says seed, time, and harvest. So if someone planted in this atheist, hey, this is how you behave. Seed, time, and harvest. So he's going to know how to behave because someone planted the seed on behavior in this man. They planted a seed. So if God says this is how you ought to behave and this man is taught, I'm going to show you an example. A man walks up to Jesus and he says, what do I do to be saved? And he says, oh, obey all the laws. And he says, oh, I already done that. Do you remember what Jesus told him?
Nope.
Jesus told him, oh, well then go sell everything you have and follow me.
Oh, that was right before the needle and
Okay.
Yeah.
Listen. Why would Jesus add that?
I don't know, because it was a Mosaic law and it was 613 laws.
Yeah, but he's adding it because this man's heart is not right with God, but his behavior is, just like an atheist.
And he's rich. He's quite wealthy.
Right, but the atheist man that I brought up, he's been taught, you understand, how to sit, how to lie down, roll over. He's been taught those things.
Tradition.
Right, but his heart is not right with God. You can teach.
His heart's not right, so his spirit's not right.
Right. So because his spirit's not right, he's not right with God. But yet if you watch him, you would think he has good fruits because his behavior is right.
His behavior is right in front of everyone, but behind closed doors is a different ball.
Well, no, even behind closed doors, he's right. But he's right because he was taught.
Something that's not right.
Huh?
There's something wrong there.
No, the thing that's wrong is his heart is not right. His behavior is right, but his heart is not right. So that doesn't mean behind closed doors, they're like, I got everybody fooled. No, they think the behavior matters. So they continue that even behind closed doors, but their heart is not right. Meaning it doesn't matter what just mere man is looking at. It matters what God is looking at. The Bible says that God looks at the heart.
Correct.
Okay, so that means that it doesn't matter how well you behave. It doesn't matter. So the idea, oh, well, they just act good in front of people. No, there's people, they act good when nobody's around, but they're not saved.
So basically, he added on the 613 laws, which were Mosaic laws. He added to another law that wasn't even there.
Yeah, but
basically, he said, "You need a savior. You need me.
Yes, you need a savior.
Jesus.
Yes, that's the whole point.
Because you don't get access to heaven with any kind of sin, because God cannot be in the presence of sin.
Well,
with
yeah.
sin, you have to let that go.
Yeah, but
let sin go.
Yeah, but let's not go over everything in 30 seconds. But the point is, he's telling them you still have to be saved. You're not saved. That's what he's telling them.
The only way you're saved is if your spirit changes and you accepted Jesus and your spirit changes.
Right.
Your
So,
spirit.
all right. So I said all that. What was the reason of me bringing all that up? Do you know? Why'd I bring that up?
I don't know, but this whole conversation started on what does a man have to do to get ready for marriage, but a woman has to get ready too.
Yeah, both of them do. Both of them do. All right. Right. But the only reason that I brought all that up is because all this, no matter what, it goes back to you harnessing your emotions. Period.
Yep. A man, it's easier for a man to harness his emotions. A woman, she got that monthly.
It don't matter. The Bible don't say just because you have your monthly, you don't have to harness your emotions. That's not what it said. The Bible don't teach that. Man teaches that, right? Another woman that's trying to justify why she's acting like a complete nutso justifies why, I have my monthly, so it's okay to act crazy. No, that's not true. It's just not true. Okay. But
it's really hard not to act
well,
crazy.
no. Again, let's not downplay the part where there is sometimes like a chemical imbalance. Let's not do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not stupid. Okay. Yeah. So, but let's at least be honest that there are some women that can control that better than others, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let me say this. What I'm saying is, for some reason, you keep bringing up the monthly. So what about when it's not the monthly? Should you harness your emotions then?
Yes.
All right then. Okay. All right.
If a man cheated.
All right. Well, again, no. Even if a man cheated, a woman cheated, it's better for you to harness your emotions than lose your mind. Okay. All right. So this. All right. So check it out. This is what we're gonna do, guys. It's already 11:40. I think me and Starlet talked a lot. Angel, if you got something to say it, and then Amazing, and then we're hopping off.
That's crazy you said that, because I got something that you reminded me actually just in this whole conversation. So basically, the man has to harness his emotions for the reasons you stated, but also, let's say if Satan were to attack the head of the household, the man has to stand firm so that way the rest of the structure doesn't fall off, correct?
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about just the man. Both man and women have to learn how to harness their emotions. Both. Okay?
The man has to be in Jesus in order to stand against Satan, or he will not stand.
Yep. A fact.
The man has nothing against Satan. It is Jesus that is stronger and more powerful over Satan.
Well, that's true at first That's true at first until you realize that the man has Jesus living on the inside of him. So that means that man is not just a human. He's God.
The man has to have Jesus in him, but if he doesn't use Jesus, then he's not going to be able to stand against Satan. Satan's been here too long.
Right. Without Jesus, a man cannot stand against Satan because there's nothing in him that empowers him. Jesus makes the difference, right? So in 1 John 4:17, it says, as he is, so are we in this world. And it's talking about Jesus as so are we in this world. So are we as Jesus is if he lives on the inside of us?
We are the righteousness of God as long as Jesus is in us.
Right. So therefore the answer is yes. We are as he is.
It's not a physical attack if you're fighting Satan. It's a spiritual warfare.
Okay, right. That's why you got to have Christ. Okay. All right, Angel, last thing. Anything else? Because I got to move on to Amazing.
No, that's it.
That's it. Amazing. What you got? Amazing sleeping on us over there.
Hey, man, God is good. Brother, let's get it on. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so Amazing. We hopping off because it's already almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and I got to go live in like 6-7 hours for the descaled.
Let's get it, baby.
All right, so we will see. So let me see. Starlet, we'll hope to see you again, and hopefully you come to descaled in the morning, and then we'll go to the garden for a little bit. But other than that, guys, we are out. I will see y'all in the morning.
God bless everyone. Send me invites. Good night.
Mm-hmm.